What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 5 rupees. 92 shooting oneself in the foot. For the 4th match, please invite Yamcha and Jiaozi to the stage. Jiaozi and Yamcha stepped onto the stage, and after the referee's introduction, they started the duel. The difference in strength between the two was not big, and the fight was very intense. Dong wave, solar flare, and Yamcha's air bomb, etc. All kinds of moves were full of special effects. It also attracted the audience's cheers. On the other side, Piccolo, who woke up, sat there for a long time. As a descendant of Piccolo Daimao, he inherited his power. And worked hard for 3 years to improve his strength, much stronger than his father at the beginning. He knelt down as soon as he stepped onto the stage, and couldn't even beat a passerby. Let alone revenge. He didn't even make it to the finals. He was already deeply doubting his life. At this moment, a blue-haired woman came over and stood in front of him. This person was Bulma. Piccolo was stunned for a moment, and then showed anger. You blocked me, do you want to die? Piccolo spoke bluntly. Bulma didn't take Piccolo's threat seriously, but smiled. She asked, Piccolo, you can't even make it to the finals, do you still want to rule the world? Piccolo was shocked, and a drop of cold sweat broke out on his forehead unconsciously. He knew his true identity and dared to stand here. In an instant, 10,000 grass horses galloped through his heart. The person in front of him was just an ordinary person, but he was not afraid of him. Piccolo Daimao, who used to be afraid to go out at night when children heard his name. Now even an ordinary person dares to stand in front of him, and he is not afraid. What a mockery. He felt very bitter. Has Piccolo Daimao's reputation long since disappeared? Bulma interrupted his thinking time. She pointed to the battle sign behind the ring and said, have you seen the list of the top 8 in the martial arts competition? Piccolo followed Bulma's gaze. Then he looked at Bulma. What do you mean? Bulma said. Except for you and the black-clothed masked man. I know the other top 8 this year, and I know their training. In other words, I have witnessed their growth. And I clearly know how they became stronger. As he said that, Bulma took out a universal capsule. He continued. If you want to conquer the world, you must first surpass Krillin, Chichi, Son Goku, and all the martial artists on the planet. You are a smart person and you should know that without strength, nothing can be discussed. You cannot rule the world with just conspiracy and trickery. Speaking of strength, in this capsule, I recorded some clips of the 3 of them practicing at different stages over the years. With these materials as a reference, you will definitely become stronger than them. After saying that, Bulma did not put forward any conditions and directly handed the universal glue garden to Piccolo. Piccolo showed a look of astonishment on his face. He could not understand why the person in front of him helped him. After a moment, Piccolo showed a smile on his astonished face. He seemed to understand what Bulma meant. He held the universal capsule between 2 fingers and asked, you gave me this thing. Do you want me to do it after I rule the world? Bulma was stunned for a moment, then said, hey, don't tell me. Your proposal is a good investment for me. At least for me, it is profitable. However, it seems difficult to realize this idea. If you want to surpass them, it is not enough to just do the level in the video film I gave you. Because they will go to a place to practice in 2 days, practice more diligently, and have guidance from big people. On this basis, they will continue to become stronger. Your foundation is more than 10 years worse than theirs. You can only surpass them if you become stronger faster than them. Otherwise, ruling the world is just your fantasy. Piccolo narrowed his eyes and said, it won't be long before I will defeat them and rule the world again. After that, Piccolo flew away. Bulma looked at Piccolo's receding back and thought to herself, although it is somewhat different from Goku's behavior in the previous life, he shouldn't mess around again, right? At this moment, a thin middle-aged man with glasses walked up to Bulma. He was the god, who was now possessed by a mortal. If you are not on Earth, are you sure he won't harm the world? Bulma looked at the god and said, what are you afraid of? They are going to practice, not to die. If Piccolo wants to rule the world again, calling one of them back will be enough to beat him. That's what I said, but I think it's better to seal him up. I know a good sealing technique, which was invented by humans, called demon sealing. Bulma shook her head and said, Piccolo II is no longer the original great demon king. What do you mean? The original Piccolo Daimao is a collection of evil thoughts. And this Piccolo, although he is the descendant of Piccolo, is no longer the original Piccolo. He is a new individual. He can think of defeating Goku by participating in the world number 1 martial arts tournament, so he is not bad at heart. What's more, he has never killed anyone since he was born, right? The god was stunned for a moment. Indeed, since Piccolo Daimao laid an egg, the god has been paying attention to the growth of little Piccolo. Although the little Piccolo's survival experience is somewhat evil, it also inherits the obsession of the old Piccolo, to avenge him and rule the world. However, the thoughts of the newborn Piccolo are different from those of the old Piccolo. Obviously, he is a new individual. Just like human children, they are related to their parents, but their thoughts are completely different. When the god was stunned, Bulma interrupted his thoughts and said, maybe one day, you will live in harmony. Advertisement. The god looked at Bulma and was stunned for a long time. After a while, he asked a question. Bulma, you are very wise, would you like to be a god? Bulma was shocked. Let me be a god. Don't be kidding, how can I be a god? I will never go. Just at this moment, warm applause broke out on the stage. Jiaozi defeated Yamcha with a slight advantage and successfully advanced. Next, please prepare the players who have advanced. Quote. Next fight, Chichi vs Son Goku. Just after the referee finished speaking, Goku and Chichi both went up. Bulma looked at the two people on the ring absent-mindedly, and they seemed to be flirting with each other. A trace of trance flashed in Bulma's eyes. Somehow, she remembered the intimate gestures Goku made to her on the plane. A trace of joy flashed in her eyes, and a trace of red appeared on her face. Has Chichi secretly kissed Goku many times? How can she hug me so skillfully and naturally? Bulma suddenly remembered something. In a few days, they will go to King Kai to practice. The temple is still on Earth, just a little higher, so she can still go and take a look. But the gravity of King Kai is 10 times that of Earth. And Bulma can't even bear twice as much, so naturally she can't go there. So, this separation may be for a long time. Bulma couldn't help pinching her thigh. I'm so stupid, the distance is so long. It will take a long time for Saiyan to come to Earth. Why should I send him to King Kai so early? Wouldn't it be better to live on Earth for 2 years first? Bulma felt that she had really shot herself in the foot. Living on Earth, you can also give birth to a Saiyan baby, whose growth limit is much higher than that of Earthlings. Bulma felt that she was too eager for success and narrowed her path. Forget it, forget it. I remember that. Goku actually took a year to learn Spirit Bomb and Kaioken. Now Goku's strength is higher than when he went to King Kai in his previous life. Maybe he can learn it in a few days and come back. Thinking of this, Shima breathed a sigh of relief. I have to build a large gravity training room as soon as possible. It would be best if the space is large enough for the three of them to train and practice in it. When Goku comes back from King Kai, he can practice at home with peace of mind. Suddenly, Bulma thought of something. The materials for the gravity bracelet are hard to find on Earth. So can I make a wish for a high multiplier bracelet through the Dragon Ball? If not, I can ask Shenron for the materials. I can make it myself without any trouble. Bulma's expression immediately brightened. Soon, the battle between Chichi and Goku ended. It seemed that Goku had lost his obsession with the championship of the martial arts tournament and deliberately lost to Shanchi. And Chichi had no interest in winning the championship and lost to Krillin in the finals. So, Krillin won the championship of the martial arts tournament again. However, in the next few days, Krillin was targeted by the media. I originally thought that I would go on vacation after finishing my wedding with Shino. As a result, all kinds of endorsements and fan meetings came to him. Krillin felt annoyed, but Hong Ruo seemed to like this kind of activity. So, Shino dressed up beautifully as Krillin's wife, and accompanied him in various business activities. After that, it was time to look for the Dragon Ball again. He must grow these 5 centimeters. Chapter 93, Training on King Kai's Planet. In a blink of an eye, a month passed. After the busyness and relaxation, several people set foot on the Snake Road. Originally, Goku and the other 3 planned to reach King Kai in less than a day. So, they came here without bringing anything. In the end, they miscalculated. Tien Shinhan, Jiaozi and Yamcha were not that fast. So it would take at least a few days. After all, they were a team, and Goku and the others were embarrassed to leave first. So they all opened the 10 times gravity and ran the Snake Road with them. This run was not a big deal, but an important issue was overlooked. The timeline was extended from 1 day to several days, and there was no food to eat. Fortunately, Krillin's wife prepared a lot of food for Krillin. Enough for a month, but these were only enough for Goku's meal. Let's talk about it after we are full. Anyway, we will only be hungry for 2 or 3 days. If it doesn't work, we can eat senzu beans as food, anyway, we won't starve to death. After everyone discussed it, they stopped halfway on the Snake Road and ate meat. Chichi. Krillin, give me more cumin, no spicy food, I'm afraid of acne, thank you. Son Goku. I'm not picky, I just want to eat it, I'm starving. Krillin nodded. Okay, don't worry, I'm working hard to roast it. Yamcha. Krillin, why are there so many roasted kidneys in the ingredients? Krillin nodded. Yeah, this nourishes. Yamcha sighed. It's so sad to let a single dog nourish his kidneys. Yamcha looked up at the distance, the endless Snake Road made people tired. I don't know when we can run to the end, it's so far. Tien Shinhan nodded. Yeah, at this speed, we have already run around the Earth twice. I didn't expect that before we reached King Kai, this Snake Road is several times longer than the equator. Chichi. It would be great if we had a universe spacecraft, it's fast enough. We should be able to get there within a day. Quote. Krillin. It's ready, Chichi, your grilled corn and enoki mushrooms. Goku. Your grilled lamb legs and kidneys. Well, I'm starting, it smells so good. Chichi took a bite of the grilled corn and couldn't help but praise. Yeah, Krillin's cooking is really delicious. Krillin scratched his head and smiled. It's good as long as it tastes good, it's all taught to me by Sinew. Let's eat all the food I brought today. If you can't run anymore, just eat senzu beans. Quote. Everyone nodded. Jiaozi. Krillin, I want to eat skewers, not kidneys. Krillin. Jiaozi, you don't understand, eating kidneys is good, very nutritious, and can also promote development. Tien Shinhan asked curiously. Promote what development? Krillin. It's easy to grow taller. Yamcha blinked. I said I felt that you have grown a little taller recently. It turns out that eating kidneys is to supplement it. I thought eating kidneys can only supplement kidneys. Krillin. Hey, hee hee hee. An hour later, everyone was full. So full. Let's take a nap before we go. It would be nice if we could turn off the lights, it's too bright, I feel tired when I sleep. Tien Shinhan. I don't know whether it's day or night, just make do with it, if it's too bright, just cover your eyes with clothes. Krillin, Jiaozi and others took out their blankets or sleeping bags and slept on the floor. Chichi looked at Goku and asked. Goku, why are you blushing? Are you sick? Son Goku shook his head. It's okay, I'm not sick, I just feel a little hot. Chichi thought for a moment and immediately asked. Did you eat too much kidney? I heard that eating too much of that kind of thing will make you feel this way. Son Goku. Chichi blushed and asked tentatively. Goku, let's go one more hour forward. I have a small portable house that should be able to hold. This is not good. Chichi pulled the corner of Son Goku's clothes. What are you afraid of? We are not 3-year-old children. Maybe when we return to Earth, Shenhua will give birth to a baby for Krillin. 3 days later. Click, click, dia. The 6 people arrived at the intersection of the Snake Road together. However, before they could prepare, they were all pulled over by the powerful gravity of King Kai. Krillin, Chichi and Goku were still wearing bracelets with 10 times the gravity. The gravity suddenly went from 10 times to 100 times. They were all pinned down on King Kai and couldn't move. Tien Shinhan, Yamcha and Jiaozi didn't use 10 times gravity, so they weren't that miserable. But they were all basically out of strength by this point. Advertisement. The sudden 10 times gravity caused several people to fall. For a moment, the wailing of several people resounded throughout King Kai. Chichi. Goku, I can't move, help me close the bracelet. Son Goku. Me too, I can't lift it, let me rest for a while to get used to it. Krillin was lying on the ground with his arms and legs spread out, his eyes were lifeless and he said, so this is what 100 times gravity feels like being nailed to the wall. Tien Shinhan stood up first and saw Goku and Krillin lying on the ground. The posture was a bit too ecstatic. Are you okay? Chichi. Tien Shinhan, are you okay? Tien Shinhan. I didn't turn on 10 times gravity, so I'm fine. Chichi was shocked. Help me turn off the gravity bracelet, my bones are about to break. Just as several people were struggling, the king walked out of the room. Seeing several people trying to stand up, with strange shapes. King Kai showed a strange look on his face. Hee hee, are you here to perform for me? It's so funny, hee hee hee. While speaking, Krillin just stood up and fell to King Kai with a plop. King Kai was shocked again. Hee hee, you don't have to be so polite. Krillin raised his head. Hello, Lord Kai. Chichi turned off the gravity of the bracelet and stood up. Then he immediately turned off the gravity of Son Goku's bracelet. Son Goku looked at King Kai. I didn't know what greeting to say. Just then, his stomach said for him, gurgle. Chichi was stunned and turned to look at King Kai. Lord Kai, we are locked up here to practice by the gods. Excuse me, do you provide meals here at night? King Kai chuckled. Ha 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 ha, I am dying of laughter. Don't you think the question just now is very interesting? I don't eat, how can King Kai provide meals? Very good, you have a good sense of humor. This sentence is very funny, you passed. Don't be shy, just laugh, ha 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 ha. Chichi was stunned for a moment. I memorized a book of jokes, but I didn't use any of them. Son Goku's focus was clearly not here. He scratched his head when he heard that there was no food. No way, there is no food here. Then we can only eat senzu beans when we practice here. One senzu bean can keep you from being hungry for 10 days, which is the ideal state. If you consume too much physical energy, such as training and fighting, the consumption of senzu beans will be large, and you can't use it like this. It's like working a lot less, eating more. If you don't work, you only need to maintain basal metabolism when eating, and the consumption is much less. The same principle. Others were also a little surprised when they saw that there was no food. King Kai laughed and said, you guys are really interesting. My King Kai planet is actually not a place where mortals live, and there is no need to eat. So, I have neither food nor materials and kitchen utensils for cooking. Quote. Everyone was dumbfounded. Quote. Then we will starve to death here. Klin couldn't help but slap his thigh and said distressedly, oh no, we were careless, we didn't bring any food. I should have asked Shenhua to prepare a year's worth of food for me. Yamcha. I only had one meal along the way, and I've been hungry for 2 days. I didn't expect that I would have no food to eat when I came here. How pitiful. Tien Shinhan looked at Jiaozi, and Jiaozi looked at Tien Shinhan. The two stared at each other without saying a word. Son Goku thought about it. In the original work, Son Goku was a dead man when he came here, so he didn't need to eat. However, he was invited to a meal by Snake Princess on the way. But they are all flesh and blood. I will die if I don't eat for a few days. Although the reserve of senzu beans is still large for the time being, this thing is like toilet paper. It seems that a large box is a lot, but it may not be enough after using it. Son Goku doesn't want to be as scarce as before. He looked at King Kai and asked, Lord King Kai, can I come again the day after tomorrow? I need to go back to Earth and bring some food. Don't worry, my speed should be fast enough, and it will only take 2 days to come. Quote. King Kai nodded. Okay, That's up to you. Son Goku looked at Chichi, Krillin and the others. You guys, if you're really hungry, just eat senzu beans first. But it's a waste to eat that as a meal to replenish your energy. Don't eat too much, don't rush to practice and waste too much energy, wait for me to come back. Speaking of this, Son Goku ran in the opposite direction, okay. In just a moment, his speed exceeded the bullet and disappeared. King Kai was also stunned when he saw Son Goku disappear. Didn't the god tell you that you are all living people and need to eat? How could he be so reckless and not remind you? Chichi thought for a while and said, God doesn't need to eat, he just needs to drink water. He probably didn't expect it. The king of the world suddenly realized and nodded. He is not an earthling at all, but an alien. Okay, then I understand. If you guys want to practice with me, tell me a joke. As long as you can make me laugh, I will make you my apprentice. Jiaozi raised his hand and immediately said, one day, the little white rabbit jumped to find the tortoise to race. Suddenly, the wolf slapped him in the face, and then roared, I told you not to wear a hat. The next day, the little rabbit wore a hat to find the turtle to race, and the wolf slapped the little white rabbit again, and roared, I told you not to wear a hat. The third day, King Kai quickly waved his hand. No, this joke is hundreds of years behind, tell another one. Tian Xinhan's mouth twitched. The joke book that Bulma gave me seems to be too old, Jiaozi only memorized this joke, what should I do? Chapter 94. Ranchi robs Son Goku. The next day at noon. After Son Goku returned to Earth, he hurried to the capsule company. He came here more often than his home. Mr. and Mrs. Brief were very familiar with him. Mrs. Brief greeted Goku directly when she saw him. Hey, it's Goku. Didn't you go to King Kai to practice, why are you back? Son Goku nodded. Yes, I did. But there is no food there, I came back to bring some. Where is Bulma? Why didn't I find her in her room and laboratory, is she not here? Mrs. Brief squinted her eyes and smiled. Is Bulma not here? Oh, by the way, I remember. Bulma said she wanted to make a gravity chamber for you. But there was not enough material, and there was no special company to refine that kind of material. So she went to find the material, and said she would be back in a few days. Son Goku was surprised. Making a gravity room. Bulma is really not idle at all. Mrs. Brief smiled, and took Son Goku's arm affectionately. It's okay, don't worry about her. I can also help with things like shopping. Aren't you going to buy some ingredients? How about this, let's make an appointment. By the way, let me go with you to buy some of your favorite food, how about it? ECS. Mrs. Brief pinched Goku's arm and said, Goku's muscles are really well trained. Son Goku smiled awkwardly. I'm so sorry, since Bulma is not here, I won't bother you. And don't tell Bulma that I'm back. Shopping is just a small matter, I'll go by myself. Mrs. Brief smiled. You and Bulma are about to get married. And you're still so polite to me, young people shouldn't be too conservative. Suddenly, Mrs. Brief opened her eyes. Oh, right, I remember now. You eat so much, it must cost a lot of money to buy ingredients, right? Wait a minute, I'll get you some money. Mrs. Brief was about to leave after saying that. Son Goku immediately shook his head. No, no need, I have money. I used to hunt treasure with Bulma, and we both had a lot of wealth. It only takes 9 years to buy food. Mrs. Brief covered her mouth and laughed. Oh, ha ha ha, is that so? Son Goku left Exedu and went to the market by himself. He bought a lot of fresh meat, frozen meat, ham, canned food and the like to store. And a few vegetables. After putting them all in the universal capsule, it was almost dark. Goku was going to sleep and rest enough before going to King Kai. Bulma was not at home either, so he flew to Baozi Mountain. Baozi Mountain, Son Goku team. Knock knock knock, knock knock knock, is Ranchi at home? Ranchi, with blue hair, was wearing pajamas and walked towards the door sleepily. Who is it? I'm Goku. Ranchi opened the door immediately after hearing that it was Goku. Huh, Ranchi rubbed her eyes in disbelief and looked at Son Goku again. Goku, didn't you go to King Kai to practice? Why are you back? Son Goku was helpless and explained the matter again. Ranchi smiled and said, so that's the case. I thought you left in a hurry. If I had known BDDC earlier, I would have prepared for you. You were really stupid. Bulma is not here. Why didn't you come back to find me to go with you? Son Goku smiled and said, it's okay. I can buy it myself. Just some frozen meat. Fresh meat, canned food, a few vegetables, nothing else. Ranchi nodded. Well, I know you like to eat meat, so I brought a lot of meat. But for a balanced nutrition, it's better to bring some fish and some fruits. People who lack vitamins for a long time will get sick. Son Goku thought about it and immediately agreed. Oh, yes, Ranchi is really thoughtful. I forgot about the fruit. Chichi likes to eat fruit. I don't eat much fruit. Let's go to the morning market tomorrow to buy some. Ranchi looked at the dark glass and said, well, it's so late. I have to go to the morning market tomorrow, so go to bed early. You look dusty, you must have been busy all day. Do you want to take a shower? I'll help you run the water. Son Goku nodded. Okay, thank you Ranchi. Ranchi walked to the bathroom and said while running the water, have you had dinner? I'm not hungry. I ate a senzu bean when I came back. There are some snacks and fruits on the sofa. Eat something casually. Got it. Son Goku sat on the sofa, picked up half a watermelon casually, and ate it with a spoon. Suddenly, several employment notices came into view. Son Goku picked up the list and looked at it. Zongtong Express, Nantong Express, Beidong Express, Global Express. Son Goku couldn't help rubbing his eyebrows. He looked at the bathroom and asked, Ranchi, are you going to work? Why are all express and logistics? Ranchi shook the water on her hands and walked over. Yeah, I don't have any other abilities, and my education is not high. Question mark. I can only do these jobs without thresholds. Son Goku nodded. Advertisement. Suddenly, he remembered a scene from the Majin Buu chapter. Ranchi is old and works in a logistics company. She heard that she needed vitality and immediately raised her hands high to offer the picture of vitality. Ranchi, in Goku's impression, has always been blue-haired and gentle, suitable to be a good wife. Son Goku looked at Ranchi and said seriously, Ranchi, I feel that you are not suitable for being a courier. You cook so deliciously. You should marry a good family and be a qualified housewife. Ranchi smiled. No, I have been on a blind date before and met two men. I was originally looking for a date. But both times, when I was eating, I sneezed and almost shot the other person with a machine gun. After more than 10 years, I have never thought about this kind of thing. Now, I am old, and I think no one will want me in this life. Son Goku looked at Ranchi in astonishment. Why does it sound so miserable? Just at this time, Ranchi said, Oh, I'll go and see, the cold water is enough. Wait for me to add some hot water to adjust the water temperature for you, and then you can take a bath. Quote. Speaking of this, Ranchi hurried to the bathroom. Son Goku looked at Ranchi's back, and saw her old appearance in a trance, and actually felt that she was a little lonely and a little pitiful. In the original work, she liked Tien Shinhan, but Tien Shinhan only liked dumplings, not women. Later, she left the group at some point and was never seen again. Son Goku looked at his bracelet, and suddenly remembered that he had bought so much food, spending less than 1% of his wealth. In other words, he still had so much money that even if he could eat, it would still be enough for 100 years. He immediately took out a box of treasures. After a while, Ranchi walked out of the bathroom. Goku, the water is ready for you, go take a shower. Son Goku looked at Ranchi. Ranchi, if you don't like going to work, then don't go. I have a box of treasures here, even if you are very squandering, it is enough for you to spend a lifetime. Anyway, Bulma's family is so rich, and I don't need money normally, so I'll give it to you. Besides, I think I will live in Exedu in the future, so you can treat this place as your home. Quote. Ranchi looked at the box of treasures in surprise. They were all precious gems, one of which was worth billions. And some were even big ones worth tens of billions. She was obviously a little surprised. She was about to refuse, but found that Son Goku had gone into the bathroom to take a bath. Looking at the box full of treasures, Ranchi's eyes were actually a little moist. Goku has grown up. Ranchi wanted to put the treasures away, but found that she couldn't move them at all. Without the transformation, she was just a weak woman. Thinking of this, Ranchi's nose was a little sour. Chew. In an instant, the weakness and grievance on Ranchi's face disappeared. And immediately turned into greed and wildness. She easily moved the treasures to her bedroom, and then walked to the bathroom. Son Goku was still taking a bath, and suddenly, the door was kicked open. Ranchi, what are you doing? Robbery. Robbery, what are you doing? Robbery. Son Goku was still taking a bath, and suddenly, the door was kicked open. Robbery, what are you doing? Robbery. Son Goku was still taking a bath, and then he was kicked open. Robbery, what are you doing? Robbery. Son Goku's mouth twitched. Have you forgotten? I just gave you all my treasures. I have no money on me. Ranchi's mouth corners raised high. It's not a robbery. You are handsome and strong. Let me rob you. Stop it, Ranchi. Ranchi said word by word. Son. Go. Kong. Who is arguing with you? I am serious. Do you know how many years I have coveted you? What, do you look down on me and dislike me? Then I will leave. Son Goku wanted to fight back. But when he heard Ranchi's words, he didn't know what to do for a while. The most hurtful sentence to a woman. Put it on, I'm not that kind of person. So, he didn't resist anymore and let down all his defenses. Ranchi's mouth corners showed a smug look again. Spring is here, and everything is revived. That night, the atmosphere on Baozi Mountain became strange. Chapter 95. 2 years later, reunion. After Son Goku returned to King Kai's planet, everyone passed King Kai's joke test. King Kai immediately arranged the first training. First, you have to overcome the gravity here and catch Babris, King Kai's monkey. If you can't do this, don't mention anything else. Everyone nodded and said in unison, got it. Then, a fierce chase began. King Kai saw that everyone ran very fast, and a look of satisfaction appeared on his face. Well, not bad, the foundation is pretty good. King Kai went back to make tea. When a pot of tea was just brewed, he was notified outside that everyone had caught Babris once. King Kai was shocked. What, caught it now? Everyone nodded. King Kai looked at Babris in disbelief and asked, is it true? Babris also nodded pitifully. A drop of sweat appeared on King Kai's forehead. I saw you guys were still having difficulty moving a few days ago. How could you adapt to the gravity here so quickly? Chichi wiped the sweat off his face and said, the gravity here is 10 times that of Earth. We've known that for a long time. Chichi pointed to the bracelet on her wrist. Each of us wears one bracelet. It was invented by Bulma. It can adjust your weight to 10 times. When we were training on Earth, we had already adapted to the 10-fold gravity. So, if we don't turn on the bracelet's gravity multiplier, it will be easy to catch this monkey. King Kai looked at the bracelets of several people and couldn't help but take a breath. So, you all have super heavy equipment on you. That's amazing. Krillin scratched his head and smiled. Lord King Kai, can we learn martial arts now? King Kai thought for a while and said, are you all ready? My training is much harder than that of the gods. The 6 people nodded in unison. Ready. Although the slogans were not very neat, the momentum was unstoppable. King Kai smiled and said, very good. You are all very energetic. Since you all accept my guidance, then you must do whatever I say, and no objection is allowed. Do you understand? Everyone nodded again. Understood. This time, the slogans were shouted in an especially uniform manner. King Kai took a deep breath and said, the practice of martial arts, whether it is the mind or the body, cannot be separated from the polishing of time. So, rushing for success often results in half the effort with twice the results. I see that you are all very adapted to the 10 times gravity, and it seems that you have a lot of spare energy. This proves that you still have a lot of room for improvement. Then, you can turn on that gravity bracelet, and continue to adapt to gravity by grabbing Babris. Until all of you have reached the limit of your physical body. Then, I will start to teach you. Everyone looked at me, and I looked at you. It seems that King Ao did not do anything except taking advantage of the 10 times gravity of King Kai's planet. This practice seems to be Master Roshi's version of milk delivery practice. King Kai saw through the doubts of several people at a glance, and asked back, why, did you just agree to me? You must do whatever I say, and you are not allowed to refute. Everyone nodded. Yes. King Kai raised his mouth and smiled. Very good, let's start. After that, King Kai went back to the house to drink tea. Everyone nodded again. Then each of them adjusted the gravity multiples that they could barely accept and began a somewhat boring practice. Goku adjusted the gravity to 3 times, and added the gravity of King Kai's planet, that is 30 times gravity. Such gravity is acceptable to him, but his movements are greatly hindered and the pressure is also great. It's like an adult chasing a monkey with a bag of cement on his back. Others are also in this mode. Krillin and Chichi are close to Goku in strength. Tien Shinhan, Yamcha and Jiaozi are a distance away. However, practicing on the same small planet, they can see how Goku and others practice. They dare not relax, and practice very hard. Time passed day by day. When King Kai knew that some of them had begun to adapt to 50 times gravity, he was shocked. These people are mortals, and for gods, the training time is very short. However, the basic strength has been polished to be very strong. It far exceeds King Kai's own strength. This foundation is inseparable from the teachings of Master Roshi, the power of technology provided by Bulma, and of course, the guidance of Mr. Karen and Mr. Popo, which are all crucial. The only shortcoming is that their training was too smooth. They basically did not encounter any bottlenecks or strong enemies. The boring training has made some of them lack motivation and their strength is close to the bottleneck. However, this bottleneck is already very strong for King Kai. He didn't say anything more. Unknowingly, a year has passed. Goku has adapted to 100 times gravity. Chichi and Krillin have also adapted to about 80 times. Tien Shinhan is more hardworking in training and has also adapted to 80 times gravity. As for Jiaozi and Yamcha, they are all around 50 times gravity. Except for Goku, who really can't increase the multiple, everyone else has reached the bottleneck for a while. So, King Kai began the second stage of teaching. Next, I will start to teach you my special moves, which are Kaioken and Spirit Bomb. However, Kaioken is something I have only researched for a few years, so it is not very perfect. When you try Kaioken, you must control your breath, otherwise it is easy to be backfired. In addition, only by mastering this move and deeply understanding the power of Kaioken can you transform and sublimate it in use. I'm sorry that even I, the inventor, haven't mastered it. So the perfection of Kaioken is left to you to do. Everyone was a little surprised when they heard what King Kai said. Son Goku had an idea. Could it be that the reason why Kaioken hurts the body is because the technique is not perfect? Seeing everyone's doubts, King Kai immediately coughed. Why, don't you want to learn? Although I haven't learned it, I have taught several apprentices. To learn this martial art, you need a very high talent and understanding. And the cultivation of the physical body is the top priority. The stronger the physical body, the more times Kaioken can be opened. On the contrary, a body that has not been polished by time cannot withstand the pressure of several times its own weight, let alone the powerful force brought by Kaioken. Hearing this, everyone seemed to be almost enlightened. No wonder he let them continue on King Kai for a year even though they had reached the level of mastering 10 times the gravity. Laying the foundation for learning skills, no matter how much basic training you do, it will not be a loss. Everyone nodded. Got it. The tentacles on King Kai's forehead twitched a few times, and he smiled. Very good, then, let's start teaching Kaioken. In a blink of an eye, a month later, Goku learned Kaioken. A month and a half later, Tien Shinhan learned Kaioken. 2 months later, Krillin learned Kaioken. 3 months later, Shenxian learned. Half a year later, Yamcha learned Kaioken. A year later, Jiaozi gave up Kaioken. Because Goku couldn't increase the gravity he was bearing. He thought of a solution that was not a solution, and put on a set of weight-bearing clothes. Advertisement. The weight immediately doubled, and with the gravity bracelet. And the gravity of King Kai's planet, he could withstand up to 200 times the gravity. Except Jiaozi, who didn't catch up with everyone's progress, everyone else could adapt to 100 times the gravity. Even Yamcha did it. So far, everyone has been on King Kai's planet for 2 years. King Kai looked at everyone's training results and was very satisfied. Everyone, I have taught you for 2 years so far. Your strength has far surpassed mine. I have also taught you Kaioken and Spirit Bomb. It will not work for you to continue practicing here. If you have nothing else to do, you can all go back. Everyone was surprised. Has it been 2 years? It feels like yesterday. Krillin also breathed a sigh of relief. Finally, we are going back. If we were not so many people, I would have almost suffocated to death. Chichi laughed. Krillin is thinking about Shinjuo. Everyone immediately burst into laughter. Unknown currency A, unknown currency A, unknown currency A, unknown currency A, unknown currency A. Krillin looked at everyone with a bitter face and said disdainfully, "What's so funny? You all have no partners, single dogs." Yamcha, Tien Shinhan and Jiaozi were speechless. Tien Shinhan and Jiaozi were fine, they didn't think about that at all, and never thought about women. But Yamcha looked a little distressed. He was shy when he saw women and didn't dare to date strange girls. But in fact, he also hoped to have a girlfriend to marry him. ... Asterisk asterisk asterisk. Goku and Chichi automatically ignored Krillin's words. After all, they were a pair, childhood sweethearts, and never single dogs. Chichi excitedly clenched his fists with both hands and looked at Goku. We are finally going back. Goku, are you happy? Son Goku nodded. Yeah, happy. Although it is good to practice here, there are no extracurricular activities except practice, which is a bit boring. Chichi took Goku's hand and said, then, let's go back. Let Bulma take us out to play, and relax for a few days. Okay, it's settled. However, Chichi, after returning to Earth, you must control your own strength and never use it arbitrarily. Chichi nodded. Yeah, I know. Others also understood this truth. Being able to withstand 100 times the gravity and having practiced for so long, even without opening Kaioken, all of them are more than 10 times stronger than when they came. If they don't know how to suppress their breath, they may kill ordinary people with a casual touch. This precise training of strength and the suppression of breath is also a daily training for everyone. By controlling breath and strength, they can not only avoid accidentally hurting ordinary people in their lives, but also greatly save physical energy. After bidding farewell to King Kai, everyone went home in high spirits. 1,000 kilometers west of Exedu, close to the sea. There is a very luxurious holiday estate here. There are not many people in the estate, only a dozen chefs, pastry chefs, and no guests. Because this is Bulma's private estate. It was afternoon, and Bulma was wearing a swimsuit, sitting under a parasol, blowing the sea breeze, and drinking afternoon tea. Not far behind her, there was a huge building. That was the gravity training room she built for Goku and the others. It is tens of thousands of square meters, larger than a concert hall. Not only is it large, Bulma also equipped it with some fitness equipment, water dispensers, beverage machines, etc. The configuration is luxurious. However, after it was built, no one has ever entered this history. Bulma adjusted her sunglasses and took a sip of tea. It seems like it's been 2 years. Why hasn't Goku, that heartless guy, come back yet? Thinking of Son Goku's somewhat clear and stupid face. Bulma smiled unconsciously. At this moment, a hearty voice came into Bulma's ears. Bulma, I'm back. Hearing this haunting voice, Bulma trembled all over. She suddenly took off her sunglasses and stood up. Goku, wearing a martial arts uniform, was standing in front of him. His facial features were obviously the same as 2 years ago. But his eyes were no longer as clear and stupid as before, and his face had lost that silly look. Bulma couldn't help but pounce on Son Goku, and buried herself in his arms. You stinky boy, you have no conscience, you haven't come back for 2 years. As she said that, Bulma raised her little fist and smashed it towards Son Goku. As her little fist continued to vent on Goku's chest, Bulma's happy tears were about to fall. Son Goku raised his hand and grabbed Bulma's wrist at this moment, stopping Bulma's action on the spot. Bulma was interrupted from venting her emotions and was stunned for a moment. She looked at Son Goku in disbelief. The previous Son Goku would never stop her. Just as she wanted to break free, she found that Goku's hand was like an iron clamp and could not be shaken at all. Bulma pursed her nose and raised her left hand again to touch Goku. As a result, Son Goku grabbed both hands. At the moment she was stunned, Son Goku pushed her against the wall behind her. I miss you, Ma. Bulma was stunned. The next second, Son Goku pressed her against the wall, and then kissed her deeply. It was the first time that Bulma felt such a rough action from Goku. But she was not angry, but secretly delighted. Feeling his breath, she tiptoed and responded to him fiercely. It seemed that she had missed him for too long. Her body trembled unconsciously at this moment. She held Son Goku tightly with her hands. Her not very long nails almost dug into the flesh of his back. Chapter 96 Raditz arrives on Earth. Bulma's seaside holiday estate. A red banner was hung at the entrance of the estate. Sunbala's 2-year-old birthday party. Closing square bracket. There were not many people in the estate, only some of Bulma's close friends. The two people's circle of friends was basically the same, such as Krillin, Tien Shinhan and others. There were also friends' families. And Bulma's parents, sister and others. Those half-familiar friends were not invited. Krillin and Shenhuo led a soft little girl into the estate. Seeing Krillin's family coming, Bulma immediately went up to greet them. Hey, world champion Krillin is here. Welcome, welcome. It's really a great honor for your family to come today. Krillin smiled faintly, bent down and looked at his daughter. Ho ho, this is Aunt Bulma, call Auntie. The little girl hid behind Krillin, showing a little eye and looking at Bulma. Her eyes were full of curiosity, but she didn't speak. Snow looked at Bulma and smiled. Huo has been shy since she was a child, but she gets familiar with the environment quickly, maybe she will be fine after playing for a while. Bulma smiled and took a box from the waiter on the side, and then took out a princess doll. She bent down and looked at Huo. So your name is Huo, you are so cute. Call me Auntie, can I give this to you? Huo blinked her clear eyes and immediately shouted, Auntie. As she said that, she opened her arms and wanted to hug the doll. Huo is so good. As she said that, Bulma gave the doll to Huo. Krillin scratched his head in embarrassment. Bulma still has a way, a doll bought her, ha 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 ha. Bulma smiled. That's right, my family also has daughters, naturally I know what they like. Quote. Krillin nodded. That's right, but I heard from Goku that the child seems to be very naughty. Bulma shrugged helplessly and smiled. The child's personality is not like Goku at all, but it is exactly the same as when I was a child, more cheerful. But the physique is like Goku, and he is very good at fighting at the age of 2. He beat several children from the neighbor's house and made them cry several times. Now the children around are avoiding her and don't play with her, haha. Hearing Bulma say this, Snow's eyes suddenly became serious. If you say that, Bulma, you have to be careful. You must educate it well. If the child goes astray, it will be bad. Bulma smiled. Well, I know this. Don't worry, the child is naughty, but he knows the limit. Okay, don't stand there. Go in quickly, the meal will start soon. Krillin and Snow both nodded, and then walked into the manor with a smile. After a while, Master Roshi, Jiaozi, Tien Shinhan and others came. Teacher Wu Tian is still so energetic. Tien Shinhan, you haven't found a girlfriend yet. After a while, all the friends arrived. The birthday party was also going on happily. Master Roshi looked at the naughty son Beulah running around, and a trace of joy flashed in his eyes. By the way, Goku, why is the child's tail gone? Son Goku nodded. Well, the gods restored the moon 2 years ago. I was worried that she would become a gorilla. So I asked the gods to help remove her tail. Bulma nodded. Yes, it's okay for a boy, but she is a girl. If other children are curious about her tail, and arouse curiosity about her body, then there will be problems. Everyone nodded. Snow nodded. That makes sense. It's really strange for a girl to have a tail. It's even worse for a grown-up girl. Although having more tails may be more convenient, removing the tail is the right choice. Krillin couldn't help but look at Goku and said, I know a little history. People in the past evolved from apes and may have tails. The coccyx has not yet completely degenerated. But as humans evolve, there are no tails anymore. I thought Goku was the only exception. That's called a genetic mutation. I didn't expect Goku's child to have a tail, which is a bit distressing. Chichi laughed. Bulma said that Goku is not actually from Earth, but a child sent by aliens. Goku is an alien. Ha ha ha, that's really interesting. Could it be that Goku is an invasive species? Ha ha, quadruple A. Everyone laughed. Bulma and Goku listened to the discussion and laughed. At this time, Chichi was obviously not as happy as everyone else and was a little frustrated. This was seen by Yuruo. Sino walked to Chichi and looked at Chichi. The two of them started talking in private. Chichi, I remember that you and Goku were childhood sweethearts and grew up together. How come Bulma and Goku's daughter is 2 years old, and you haven't given birth to a child for him? Chichi nodded. I want to have a child, but I can't do strenuous exercise when I'm pregnant. I can't accompany Goku to practice for at least 3 years, so I'm not in a hurry to have a child. Sino nodded. That's right, but you are a girl after all. Is practice really that important? Chichi's originally depressed face showed a smile. She said. Actually, for me, practice is not important. What's important is that I like to practice with Goku. Sino was speechless. After a moment, Shino smiled and said, yes, you can go to the temple with Goku to practice, and go to King Kai's planet to practice. During those years, Bulma was basically alone at home. She hadn't seen Goku for several years. Thinking about it this way, you are still the most comfortable. Chichi nodded and smiled again. Yes, everything has its gains and losses. Although I am envious of Bulma and Goku's 2-year-old child, I prefer to spend more time with Goku than having a child. As she said this, Chi-Chi's face suddenly turned red. She whispered to Snow, Bra is 2 years old now, and it's time to take care of her. Bulma has to sleep in the same bed with the child at night. Goku sleeps with me, and I can't tell you how happy I am now. Snow nodded. It's the same. The child is young and wakes up several times at night. Yuanlin has also moved to the next room to sleep. It's not very convenient to have a child. But I heard that the child can sleep by himself after he turns 3. Chichi nodded. Yeah, that's right. When Bra doesn't sleep in the same bed with Bulma anymore. I'm going to have a child, and I'll let Goku spend more time with Bulma in the future. Snow smiled. I really envy your family. There are 3 people, but they are so harmonious. Chichi smiled. He, this is actually thanks to Bulma. She knows more than me. In addition to taking care of Goku, she also takes special care of me. Snow nodded again. Yeah, that's right, I felt it a long time ago. Bulma has a high IQ and an even higher EQ, so it's much more comfortable to communicate with her. Chichi nodded. Yes, I now realize that little Beulah is only 2 years old, but she is more sensible than I was when I was 3 or 4 years old. Quote. Advertisement. Just then, Huo ran over. Mom, take me to the beach, I want to pick up crabs. Sino nodded. Okay, Mom, go get a small bucket, let's see who picks up more, okay. Then take 2, Dad and I are in the same group. Okay, north, grassland, Raditz landed. He walked out of the aircraft with a look of disdain on his face. How come the people on this planet are alive, Kakarot this kid? As he said, Raditz found a farmer and immediately walked towards him. The farmer saw that Raditz was tall and intimidating, and was a little scared. So he immediately pointed his gun at him. Who are you? Don't come over, or I'll shoot. Raditz raised the corner of his mouth high. Beep beep beep, the detector started working at this moment. A scum with a combat power of only 5, hee. As he spoke, the farmer's gun fired, and a bullet shot at Raditz. Raditz reached out and grabbed the bullet. The farmer was startled and turned around and ran. Raditz flicked his finger, and the bullet shot back at the farmer, piercing his heart directly. Raditz looked at the fallen farmer and said disdainfully, what a foolish and weak nation. Let's see where Kakarot is first. As he said that, Raditz began to press the detector. Hey, there is a guy with huge energy over there, and the energy reaction is so strong. It's more than 4,000 kilometers away, it should be Kakarot, right? Raditz smiled, and then flew in that direction. The 4,800 kilometers away was none other than Piccolo. He has mastered the perception of breath. When Raditz approached, Piccolo suddenly noticed such a strong breath flying towards him, and was also surprised. Such a strong breath is actually coming towards me, could it be Son Goku? As soon as the voice fell, Raditz's figure came into view. Piccolo's pupils shrank. It's not him. Raditz stopped immediately after seeing Piccolo. He said with a proud look, oh, is this the native of this planet? It's not Kakarot, what a pity. Piccolo looked at Raditz cautiously and asked, who are you? Raditz smiled, people like you are useless to me. Piccolo was not polite at all, then why are you here, am I going to die? Raditz pressed the detector while laughing. Huh, what an arrogant guy. Quote. At this moment, the detector, chat, sounded. Raditz was also surprised when he saw the combat power of the detector. What? The combat power is as high as more than 900. Is there such a powerful person on this planet? Piccolo heard the other party praising him, and the corners of his mouth raised high, and asked back, what are you talking about, are you scared? Raditz snorted coldly. Hole, do you know who you are talking to? Piccolo felt the other party's unrestrained breath. And cold sweat broke out on his forehead. This guy's energy is really amazing. Hearing Raditz's threatening words, Piccolo couldn't bear it and took action directly. He raised one hand and an energy bomb hit Raditz. Bang! With a sound, the energy bomb hit Raditz and exploded. A cloud of smoke and 0.7 dust dissipated with the wind, and Raditz was still standing there, unharmed. Piccolo was shocked. He took such a heavy blow from me, but he was unharmed. Raditz fanned the air casually and said with a smile, your strength is too weak. You just let me get a little dust on me. You have made a move before, this time it is my turn, right? Let you also see my true strength. As he said, Raditz was about to attack him. However, at this moment, Raditz suddenly thought of something. No, although your strength is a little worse than mine. You should be the top existence on this planet. Raditz's eyes fixed and asked, could it be that the Kakarot of this planet was killed by you? Piccolo felt that this battle was inevitable, and immediately took off his hat and ripped off his cloak. I Piccolo Damao killed someone, and I have to explain to others. I don't know who the Kakarot you are talking about is. Anyway, if you want to fight, just come over. Quote. As he said this, Piccolo suddenly roared, and his aura suddenly increased. 900, 1000, 1100, 1300, Raditz's detector suddenly rang again. Raditz took a breath. The combat power can actually change with control. It seems that you belong to a very powerful race. Also, who are you? Did you kill Kakarot? Chapter 97 Raditz's scalp is tingling. Piccolo could clearly sense that Raditz's aura was stronger than his, and he was extremely cautious at the moment. He didn't want to fight this guy rashly, and immediately responded, I don't know the Kakarot you are talking about, and I have never heard of this name. Raditz raised his eyebrows. You haven't heard of it, it shouldn't be. This planet cannot sense other powerful energies. Even if he is just a Saiyan lower-level warrior, his strength will not grow too slowly. Moreover, this planet does not have a moon. It stands to reason that Kakarot should not be killed. Piccolo looked at Raditz. Suddenly, he saw the tail wrapped around Raditz's waist, and his pupils shrank suddenly. Tail. Has a tail like Son Goku, could it be? Seeing Piccolo's abnormality and hearing him muttering about the tail, Raditz's mouth curled up. Why, you remembered. There is a person with a tail like you, but his name is not Kakarot, his name is Goku. Raditz was stunned again. Son Goku. At this moment, Raditz's detection moved forward. Another more powerful energy reaction has appeared. It must be Kakarot. Ignoring Piccolo, Raditz flew straight to the direction of the energy reaction. Halfway through, Raditz was a little confused. The green-skinned man he had just met had a combat power of 1300, and could control his combat power. On such a remote planet, it was already amazing. If Kakarot was still alive, he should have killed him, or been killed by him. In his mind, it was difficult for him to understand that there were two strong men on the same planet if they were not of the same race. Soon, Raditz came to Bulma's holiday estate. He saw Son Goku in the crowd at a glance. Because he was also walking towards him. At the same time, Raditz also saw many Earthlings. And, from this scene, it was clear that they seemed to be celebrating something. Soon, Raditz and Son Goku came together and looked at each other. Raditz said with a smile, "Hey, brother, you've grown up. I recognized you at first sight. You look exactly like your father." Son Goku also looked at Raditz and called out his name. Raditz. Hearing Raditz calling him brother, Goku also called out his name, and the others were all surprised. "Goku, why didn't you tell me that you have a brother?" "Yeah, I haven't even heard of it." Chichi also looked at Raditz with curiosity, and then looked at Son Goku, opposing the comparison. Bulma heard the conversation between the two and walked to Goku in surprise. She was holding Son Beulah in her arms. Bulma was a little doubtful and turned around and asked, "Goku, you have a brother, why didn't you tell me?" Son Goku nodded. "I was too young at that time and only remembered a little." Bulma knew that Raditz was Son Goku's brother, but she didn't expect Son Goku to know his brother. Because in the previous life, after Goku hit his head, he became a different person, and he lost all his previous memories. Just when he thought of this, a flash of lightning flashed through Bulma's mind, and her thoughts became clear in an instant. It's the butterfly effect again. Goku didn't hit his head when he was a child, and he didn't lose his memory. Raditz said angrily, "Kakarot, what's wrong with this planet? Have you forgotten that your mission is to destroy the humans on this planet, and have you integrated into this planet?" Everyone was stunned when they heard that Goku's mission was to destroy the humans on this planet. In their eyes, Goku is a peace-loving person, kind, upright, and can ride the cloud. That kind of cruel mission has nothing to do with Son Goku. Son Goku explained, "I have never had any mission. I only remember that when my parents sent me here, they told me to live." Raditz's eyes fixed. "Is this the reason why you didn't kill all the people on Earth?" Son Goku pulled Bulma and then hugged Chichi. "I got married on this planet and have my own family. Now this is my home." Quote. Goku took Bulma's arms and continued, "Today is my daughter's second birthday, and I'm holding a birthday party for her. If you come to the party, we welcome you. If you come to make trouble, I don't mind fighting you." Raditz's mouth curled up. "Oh, my stupid brother. You actually integrated into such an ignorant nation, and you still want to fight me. You really disappoint me." At this time, Krillin came over. "Hey, you guy, you are too arrogant. Don't say nonsense about destroying all mankind. Goku is not that kind of person. We are all brothers like Goku. If you make Goku embarrassed, if you dare to harm the Earth, no matter if you are Son Goku's brother or not, I will not forgive you." Raditz looked down at the little Krillin with disdain on his face. He didn't say anything, and the tail swept towards him. He thought he would sweep the little bald head away directly. But after sweeping it out, he found that it was empty. When he realized that something was wrong, Krillin's figure flashed in front of him. Krillin showed a smirk at the corner of his mouth. And then he kneed him hard in the abdomen. Raditz suddenly groaned miserably and took several steps back. His abdomen was spasming from the blow, and his body was twitching uncontrollably. At the same time, his detector clicked. The combat power value soared from a few points to more than 2000. Seeing this number, Raditz was shocked. This little bald head actually has more than 2000 combat power, which is stronger than his strength. It was also stronger than the green-skinned man he met when he landed. At the same time, Raditz also detected Kakarot, and his wife's combat power fluctuated. Although it didn't increase much. But the fluctuation of combat power would not lie. They really intended to attack him. Fortunately, the little bald guy kicked him. And he didn't intend to continue to attack, and his eyes were on the back. The combat power also dropped from more than 2000 to single digits. Raditz combined Piccolo's combat power fluctuations and figured it out. Advertisement. The people on this planet have mastered the method of controlling combat power. Raditz was very nervous, but more confused. According to his intelligence, the Earth is very weak, and humans are very weak, and they should be scum in combat. But, he was just knocked down by a mere Earthling. He really felt the terrifying strength of the little bald guy. It seems that if he is more arrogant and arrogant, even if he is Kakarot's brother, he will still be killed by him. Raditz's eyes flickered, and he immediately calculated in his mind. Suddenly, his expression brightened, and he immediately thought of his purpose. He might as well just build some connections and explain his purpose. Raditz stood up and said, "Kakarot, since you have married and had children on this planet, for your sake, the humans on this planet don't have to be killed. Earth is just a remote little planet anyway. Vegeta shouldn't mind. You and I are the same, both Saiyan. The most powerful fighting nation in the universe. You shouldn't live comfortably on this small planet. My main goal here is to invite you to join us. I am now working under King Frieza, the most powerful king in the universe. Come on, join Vegeta's elite team with me to seize the planet. As long as we work hard, we brothers will make a career together. Son Goku thought of many scenes. Still didn't expect Raditz to look like this when he came to Earth. What is this? It feels a bit familiar. It seems like the elder brother who went out to work. Specially came to the mountain village from afar, and took his uneducated younger brother out to work. Yes, that's the taste. Raditz saw Son Goku seemed to be hesitating and asked immediately. What's wrong, Kakarot, you are a fighting nation. Are you intoxicated by the gentleness of life? Son Goku shook his head. Go away, I don't like working for others. Raditz was stunned. Gee, just then, Bulma spoke. Hey, you said that your Vegeta elite team is working for the strongest Frieza core in the universe, right? Raditz nodded. Yes, our team is all elite. Bulma and Goku couldn't help laughing in their hearts. But they held it back on the surface. A team of only 3 people is indeed an elite team. The planet is gone, and there is no one to replenish it. Bulma continued. You still say that the harming people are the strongest fighting nation in the universe. Raditz nodded again. Yes, that's right. Since you are the strongest fighting nation in the universe, why give history to others? Raditz was stunned. This. Bulma immediately made a suggestion. Since you said so, then let's do this. You call your captain, let's discuss together, and kill Frieza together. Let's Saiyan dominate the universe, how great it would be. Raditz immediately broke out in a cold sweat and his scalp tingled. He realized that the detector was still on, and immediately turned off the detector in panic. Then he scolded. Woman, don't talk nonsense. Frieza is very powerful, if he hears us, we will all be finished. Chapter 98 Killing Nappa. In the distant universe, Vegeta and Raditz just killed all the humans on a planet and occupied the planet. At this moment, the two were enjoying a delicious and arrogant feast. Vegeta was eating happily, and Nappa spit out the food in his mouth. Pooh, what part is this? The meat is so disgusting and smelly. Vegeta was not affected at all and continued to gnaw on the green arm. Just eat until you are full, don't talk so much nonsense. Suddenly, Nappa noticed that Raditz's detector was turned off and was stunned for a moment. Quote. Vegeta, are you there? Raditz, that loser, was beaten by an Earthling. It's really embarrassing for us Saiyans. Vegeta nodded. That guy from Earth. Although his combat power is only more than 2000, he can still beat Raditz steadily. Raditz is really an unlucky guy. Nappa smiled. It's not his fault. Since our planet Vegeta disappeared, we have been fighting. And have never lived on a planet with high gravity. Otherwise, with Raditz's talent, at least his strength can be improved to the same level as mine. Vegeta snorted coldly. Without conditions, you can't practice yourself. In my opinion, losers are losers. Nappa smiled casually and didn't continue talking about Raditz. He suddenly asked curiously, but, Vegeta, don't you think it's strange? The gravity of the Earth is so much lower than that of our former planet Vegeta. Why are the Earthlings so powerful? Vegeta's mouth corners slightly raised. Who knows? Just one person can easily increase the combat power to more than 2000. And there are several powerful energy reactions around, which are always fluctuating. It seems that the Earth is not as simple as the intelligence says, and there are many powerful guys hidden. Nappa smiled. It's just 2000, which is still far behind you, Vegeta. It seems that Raditz can't bring Kakarot back. We can't add more people, it's a pity. What should we do next? Vegeta raised the corners of his mouth high and smiled. No pity. Kakarot, that guy, really surprised me. Not only did he not invade the Earth, but he also regarded it as his home. Married a wife, and made some very powerful friends. However, this is also very good. I thought that if we send Raditz over to sea, we can add a warrior if we are lucky. But judging from the situation, those people are better than Raditz, that waste. If we can recruit them, our team can add several people. Nappa was stunned. Then he asked back. No, Vegeta, are you going to recruit those Earthlings? Backquote. Is there a problem? Vegeta answered him casually without delaying his meal. Nappa, however, became very serious. Vegeta, have you forgotten their conversation just now? Kakarot, that guy seems to have completely integrated into the Earth. Listening to him, his personality is not arrogant. That kind of guy doesn't want to invade the planet at all. Vegeta looked at Nappa and asked with some disdain. Nappa, why did you ignore the last sentence? The last sentence. Suddenly, a flash of lightning flashed through Nappa's mind. You mean, that woman's proposal? We join forces to kill Frieza. Vegeta nodded. I'm very interested in this proposal. Nappa's pupils shrank, and he immediately asked. Vegeta, what do you mean? Are you crazy? Don't you understand how powerful Frieza is? Just the few strong men under him are not something we can contend with. And the powerful and invincible Ginyu Force is not something we can mess with. Frieza's strength is even more unfathomable. Don't even think about it, Vegeta. Vegeta looked at Nappa, then looked up at the sky. His eyes were full of anger. That woman is right. Saiyans are the strongest fighting race in the entire universe. As a Saiyan, how can you be willing to be inferior to others? Becoming the strongest in the universe is the destiny of Saiyans. I have been enduring in Frieza's army for so many years, and I have had enough. Nappa immediately retorted. But, Vegeta, ideals are ideals. Frieza is too strong. We can no longer imagine how strong he is. His current strength is not at all what we can reach. You should understand. Even if those Earthlings are very powerful, they can't surpass you. Even if we join forces, we can't be Frieza's opponent. What's more, there are only a few Saiyans in the entire universe now. We can't make any waves. Vegeta looked at Nappa, clenched his fists, and was a little angry. Nappa, this be asterisk 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 D. There is no pride of Saiyan at all. He is a complete dog, and not very obedient. If Vegeta's planet had not been lost, there would be no way to replenish the harmful fighters. He really didn't want to use this guy. Vegeta snorted coldly. And looked at Nappa with a very fierce expression. Advertisement. Nappa, you coward. You have been a dog for Frieza for so many years. Have you lost your Saiyan backbone? Are you going to be a dog for that B asterisk 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 D for the rest of your life? Seeing Vegeta's fierce expression, Nappa immediately stopped his objection. Vegeta, I know I was wrong. You are right, as a Saiyan, I must have the pride of a Saiyan. I will do whatever you say. Vegeta snorted coldly. HMPH, then don't waste time. Go and prepare the aircraft, we will go to the Earth first. Nappa didn't say anything else, and went to prepare the aircraft on his own. Vegeta didn't seem to be full, and continued to eat. A moment later, Vegeta's detector suddenly received a message. It was still the woman's voice. Vegeta, you should have heard the previous conversation, right? If you want to kill Frieza, then come to Earth quickly. There are 7 Dragon Balls on Earth, which can fulfill many wishes, even resurrection. With this tool, Frieza can be easily defeated. After the voice was finished, the detector was immediately turned off. Vegeta's eyes fixed. Dragon Ball, I think I have heard of this thing. Could it be that the legend of the Dragon Ball on Namek is true? When Nappa was far away from Vegeta, he immediately lost his previous respect and cursed. Damn, Vegeta, that idiot. Wouldn't it be better to just fight the planets? You can enjoy fighting every day, have food and drink, and get bonuses. You live such a happy life, but you actually want to rebel against King Frieza. Humph, you can die if you want to, I won't go to Earth. But then Nappa's forehead broke out in cold sweat again. Quote. No, if I don't listen to Vegeta, if I don't go with him, he will kill me. But if I go with him, if I can't beat King Frieza, then I will die even more miserably. Suddenly, Nappa's eyes lit up. He immediately dialed the contact number of the headquarters. Hello, is this Frieza headquarters? I'm Nappa, Vegeta, that guy, he wants to rebel against King Frieza. And he's going to Earth now. Yes, that's right. Tell the king that I, Nappa, will always be loyal to King Frieza. Okay, I'll go with him. After hanging up the phone, Nappa breathed a sigh of relief. HMPH, I'm so smart. So, let them go and fight Frieza. Even so, if I lose to King Frieza, I can get away with it. But if I really win, it will be no loss for me. I'm so smart, hee hee, ha 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 ha. Just at this moment, Vegeta's voice came over. Nappa, what are you laughing at? Nappa was startled and immediately looked at Vegeta. No, nothing, I just think that I can defeat King Frieza. I'm happy, hee hee. Just as the voice fell, Vegeta's hand knife no how Jiao had penetrated Nappa's chest. The next moment, Nappa was blasted into slag by Vegeta with a horrified look in his eyes. Vegeta snorted coldly. Stupid guy, he actually betrayed me. Damn it, he informed me. Now I have no way out. I hope the Earth can give me some surprises. After that, Vegeta boarded the aircraft alone. Earth. Sanbula's banquet ended almost at night. All the friends went back, and Shenxian and Bulma also took their daughter back to Exedu. Son Goku was still in the holiday manor at this time. After all, Raditz was his brother, and he had no grudge against him, so Son Goku felt that there was no need to turn against him. Like Bulma said, as long as there is a common enemy, he can immediately become a companion. Although it may not be reliable for the time being, people have feelings. As time goes by, and they spend a long time together, they will change. So, Son Goku took Raditz to see the training room. Showed him the gravity bracelet, and left him 10 senzu beans. After placing him here, he took his detector away. And then Son Goku left. Seeing the technology here on Earth, Raditz was shocked. He seemed to have completely understood why the Earthlings were so strong. Chapter 99, Battle Strength Survey, Shocking Raditz. Capsule Corporation. In Bulma's laboratory, Chichi was a little curious about what Bulma was doing in the middle of the night. So she walked in with a cup of coffee. Chichi asked. Bulma, it's so late, why don't you sleep? Bulma took off the glasses that blocked the welding and looked at Chichi. It's Chichi, are Shira and Goku asleep? Chichi nodded. Yes, they are both asleep, I came to see you. Do you need to refresh yourself? I made you a cup of coffee. Thank you, don't stand, just sit down. Bulma reached out to take the coffee and took a sip. Chichi also pulled a chair and sat next to her. Chichi saw the combat power detector on the table that was disassembled into parts at a glance, and couldn't help but be surprised. Huh, isn't this the detector of Raditz? Is it broken? Are you helping him fix it? Bulma shook her head. It's not broken, but this thing is a product of Frieza's army. The terminal is with Frieza. I have to change it and cut off the connection with the main server before we can use it. Quote. Chichi's face was full of question marks. Bulma, I know every word you say, but I can't understand it together. Bulma smiled faintly, then put down the coffee. And very skillfully picked up a cigarette and lit it. She took a deep breath, blew out a smoke ring, and said, well, this is how you understand it. This detector is like an Apple phone. It eavesdrops on everything you say in your daily life. All this data is uploaded to the headquarters of the Apple company. The privacy of all Apple phone users has been stolen. Of course, many other phones are also like this. This is called big data collection. Chichi nodded in sudden enlightenment. Oh, I know this. For example, if I mention that my stockings are running out, I will complain casually, and then my phone will always push information about various stockings stores to me. For example, if I say I am fat, I will definitely be given diet pills for the next few days. Bulma nodded and said, yes, that's what I mean. But the mobile phone company collects our information in order to sell us things and make money from us. However, this detector is what Raditz said, the technological product of the universe Emperor Frieza. All the data generated by the detector will be uploaded to the headquarters of the Frieza army. You know, that is a universe army. Quote. Chichi was stunned for a moment. Universe army. You mean, what we said before? Such as the sentence about killing Frieza was actually stolen by it and uploaded to Frieza's army. Bulma nodded. Yes, that's what I mean. Kai 033 Chi suddenly understood. I understand, I said that Raditz was so scared when he heard you say you were going to lead the Saiyans in a rebellion. It turns out that all these things were detected by Frieza's army. Bulma nodded. Yes, everything Raditz saw and heard on Earth with the detector turned on was actually uploaded to their headquarters. Our Earth has been exposed in the Frieza's army's information database. Chichi nodded again. I see. But is that Frieza really that powerful? Is he more powerful than Goku? Bulma took another puff of her cigarette and looked at Chichi again. She didn't answer directly, but asked, by the way, how many times of gravity can Goku adapt to in the gravity room now? Chichi thought for a while and said, it seems that he has not increased the gravity since he reached 200 times of gravity. Recently, he often goes to the sea with me, or with Krillin, Tien, Shinhan, etc. to simulate battles. Now I don't know how many times of gravity he can withstand. Quote. After listening, Bulma nodded. I see. It seems that Goku also knows that simply repeating a kind of training cannot endlessly improve strength. Quote. Chichi nodded. Yes, long-term repetition of a training cycle can improve, but the improvement is slow, we all know this. However, I feel that we are basically invincible. But Goku always says there is still room for improvement. Bulma nodded. Yes, and all of you have a lot of room for improvement. After I modify the detector, I will know your combat effectiveness. And then I will plan a training strategy for you. Oh, so, it seems that I will see something new again. Chichi nodded, and then suddenly remembered something. By the way, I just asked you, is Frieza more powerful than Goku? You didn't answer me. As he said, Chichi looked at Bulma with expectation. Bulma looked at the ceiling and thought for a while, then turned to look at Chichi again, and said, let's put it this way, if we express the combat power of you, Goku, Krillin, Tien Shinhan in the form of numbers and then add them all up, the total number we get may not be even 1/10 of Frieza's. Chichi was looking forward to it, but was surprised to hear what Bulma said. She widened her eyes and asked in disbelief, what? How is it possible? The combined combat power of all of us is not even 1/10 of that Frieza. Bulma nodded. It should be. Chichi immediately thought of something and suggested, Bulma, if that Frieza is so powerful, we shouldn't join forces with Vegeta and Rebel. Goku grew up on Earth and is an Earthling. Wouldn't it be better if we don't provoke them? This kind of thing has nothing to do with us. Bulma smiled. Don't be afraid, now. Although the current strength of all of you is far behind that of the Universe Emperor Frieza. But according to my research, if Goku can undergo a qualitative change and catch up with or even crush Frieza, there is only one opportunity left. Chichi was stunned for a moment. Qualitative improvement, what do you mean? Bulma smiled and said, there is a legend about Saiyans. Raditz should have heard of it. The legend says that a Super Saiyan can appear every 1,000 years. He is extremely powerful. The sky and the earth can break apart with a wave of his hand, and an energy wave can penetrate the planet. However, after my research, I found that, through hard practice, you can actually become a Super Saiyan. Chichi blinked and looked at Bulma in confusion. Bulma, did you extract Goku's cells and do some blind research? Bulma smiled and lied, saying, no, it's all a combination of various rumors. Some came from Gak, and some were told to me by my sister. And then I summarized it myself based on various versions of the legend. Chichi was speechless. So they are all legends. Well, what if it's not true, and Goku can't become the legendary Super Saiyan, wouldn't we be in danger? Bulma pointed to the fragments of the detector on the table, shrugged, and said, we have no choice. Because the Earth has actually been exposed. Chichi saw the wreckage of the detector, stood up, and walked around with a worried expression. That Raditz is so annoying. Why did he come to the Earth for no reason? This time, not only did it break our peaceful life, but it also dragged us into the pit. No, that breakfast sentence was said by you. Bulma, why did you say that? Oh, by the way, you didn't know what this detector was for at that time. Chichi suddenly changed the subject and asked again. Do you think Frieza will think you are joking and not take your words seriously at all? Seeing Chichi's startled look, Bulma laughed again. Then put out the cigarette butt and patted Chichi on the shoulder. Chichi, don't worry, and don't blame anyone. The rules of this world have always been like this, and those who lag behind will be beaten. Advertisement. This is true for countries, and in fact, it is also true between planets. If we hide on Earth, who knows, a powerful guy may come one day and rule the Earth like Piccolo Daimao hundreds of years ago. After all, technology is developing now. With the development of interstellar space technology, interstellar travel can only get faster and faster. What we can do is not to escape, but to strengthen ourselves. You have practiced for so many years, but you have never participated in a serious battle, right? Now, you finally have the opportunity, why don't you try the results of your practice? I think Goku has practiced for so many years and should have been looking forward to a worthy opponent. This time, even if he fails accidentally, we still have Dragon Ball on Earth, and we can be resurrected. After hearing Bulma's words, Chichi suddenly realized. I see. Bulma, I find that after being in contact with you for a long time, I still feel that you are unfathomable. You are much smarter than me and Goku. Quote. Bulma smiled. This is my area of expertise, but Chichi, you and Goku are good at martial arts. When we go out to fight Frieza, you will resist the enemy, and I BDFF will give advice. We complement each other. Chichi nodded confidently. Yes, we complement each other. Bulma picked up the tools again and put on the small welding goggles. Chichi, go to bed, I will go after I finish my work. Chichi nodded. $789. Just when Chichi was about to leave, Bulma stopped Chichi again. Chichi. Chichi was stunned and turned his head. What's wrong? I'm working all night today, and I should get up late tomorrow. Question mark. You notify the others, don't leave after training tomorrow, and gather at the capsule company. Chichi was curious. What for? Bulma smiled. Test your combat effectiveness. Okay. The next day, afternoon. There were several people standing in the backyard of the capsule company. Krillin, Yamcha, Tianjin, Jiaozi, and Raditz are all here. Bulma looked at everyone wearing Raditz's detector. I dismantled this yesterday and modified it. Now it has cut off the connection with Frieza headquarters and any other terminals. This detector has only standalone functions. In addition, I changed the text to the language of Earth, so it is convenient for us to use. When Raditz heard that Bulma had changed the detector into a standalone product, he couldn't help but give a thumbs up. Sister-in-law is really amazing. She can modify the program of this thing in one night. This is the high tech that Frieza's army has been iterating for many years. Bulma smiled and said, don't call me sister-in-law in the future, just call me Bulma. Okay, Bulma. Raditz changed his words smoothly. Bulma looked at Raditz and pressed the detector. Well, Raditz's combat power is 150. Raditz nodded. I have maintained this combat power for a long time. Quote. Bulma turned to look at Krillin. Krillin, raise your aura a little, let me see. Krillin nodded, then shouted, and suddenly a strong aura burst out from his body. A strong wind blew up around him, but fortunately Krillin deliberately controlled the impact of his aura on the environment. Otherwise, Bulma would be blown away without any power. Bulma's detector beeped. Oh, not bad, it's actually more than 110,000. Hearing more than 110,000, Raditz was shocked, looked at Krillin, and then looked at Bulma. Bulma, what did you say just now? Question mark. What is Krillin's combat power? Bulma looked at the number and said, to be precise, it should be 118,925. Raditz was shocked again. How is it possible? There must be something wrong with the detector. How can it have such a high combat power? Yes, it must be like this. I remember that the upper limit of my detector is only more than 20,000. If it is higher, it will not be able to detect it. Bulma looked at Raditz, who was so surprised that he doubted his life, and said, I forgot to tell you that after my modification, I also adjusted the detection range of the detector. From 1 point of combat power, it can be adjusted to 1 billion combat history. Don't look at this thing's small size. This transformation consumed a lot of my refined materials. At this time, Shenxian also stepped forward. Bulma, look at my combat power. As he said, without waiting for Bulma's order, Chichi immediately increased his combat power. In an instant, the wind blew, and the backyard was filled with layers of air. Fortunately, Goku quickly blocked Bulma. When the air stopped rioting, Bulma pressed the detector. Beep beep beep. Bulma was surprised. Ah, how is it possible? Chichi asked excitedly. How is it, Bulma, how much is my combat power? Bulma scratched his head and said, it shouldn't be. Chi-Chi's combat power is more than 160,000, is Piccolo Lin higher? Chi-Chi was also stunned. Not accurate, I should not be as good as Krillin. I have simulated battles so many times, and I can't beat him at all. Son Goku said. Krillin didn't use his full strength just now. Quote. Everyone suddenly realized, and then looked at Krillin. Krillin scratched his head and said, hee hee, Goku actually saw through it, hee hee ha ha. Bulma was obviously relieved. I see, that's what I thought. I thought there was something wrong with the detector. Hey, Krillin, raise your aura to the highest level, let me see how much fighting power you have. Quote. Krillin nodded. Okay. After saying that, Krillin released all his fighting power, and his aura was raised to the highest level. However, like Master Roshi, his muscles were also bulging. Bulma's detector beeped again. As soon as the sound of the detector stopped, Krillin immediately asked, "How is it? What is my fighting power?" Bulma read the number carefully. "Your fighting power is 243,185. What? More than 240,000? Krillin hadn't spoken yet, and Raditz couldn't sit still. His eyes were full of shock. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Vegeta's fighting power is only 18,000. How could he reach such a high number? Raditz has begun to tremble. Tien Shinhan, Jiaozi and others all looked at Raditz. What's wrong, Raditz? Is this number outrageous? Is Krillin better than your Captain Vegeta? Raditz swallowed hard. More than Vegeta is powerful, with a combat power of more than 200,000, which is more powerful than all the fighters under Frieza. Chichi said. That means he is not as good as Frieza. Raditz said. Vegeta said that Frieza can transform, and his combat power in the first stage is 530,000. 530,000. Piccolo Lin is twice as powerful. I wonder if Goku can reach this number. Several people discussed it. Hearing them say that Goku is the strongest among them, Raditz was shocked again. Is Kakarot more powerful? Chichi said. Of course, Goku has always been the most powerful. At this time, Son Goku looked at Krillin and asked, "By the way, Krillin, how many times can you use Kaioken?" Krillin thought about it and replied, 20 times is not a problem. Then you fly to the sky, and then open 20 times Kaioken, let Bulma detect it. Quote. Chapter 101 Year Training Plan. Hearing Goku's words, Krillin flew into the sky. He shouted, Kaioken. Instantly, veins all over his body bulged, and an incomparable strong aura burst out of his body. The red flame was clearly the color of Kaioken. At this moment, the wind from all directions instantly became extremely fierce. As if it could blow everything to pieces. There were a few white clouds floating in the sky. But they all disappeared in the burst of Krillin's aura. Bulma looked at Krillin in the air and moved the detector at her waist. A long string of numbers jumped up. 1, 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1 million. Hearing that Bulma had counted to 1 million, everyone was shocked. What? Krillin's combat power has reached 1 million. Too amazing. Raditz's legs were a little weak, he picked up a drink on the table casually. And took a sip tactically. How is it possible? I thought his combat power was only 2,000. I didn't expect it to be more than 200,000. Now he has used some Kaioken moves, and it has skyrocketed to more than 1 million. It's so scary. Are the people on Earth so scary? Just then, Bulma read out the last number. Krillin's combat power is 4,860,000, and I won't read the decimals. What? 4,860,000. No one knows the combat power numbers better than Raditz. Bulma's words of not reading the decimals hurt his only self-esteem. As expected, that decimal may be much higher than his 1,500. Everyone cheered for Krillin. Krillin also said excitedly, am I very powerful? Powerful. Very powerful. You are worthy of being a hero on Earth. As he spoke, Krillin withdrew his transformation and returned to normal. But, he was a little out of breath. Son Goku looked at Krillin and asked, Krillin, how long can you maintain that state just now? How long? It's over. Son Goku was stunned. It's over, it's less than a minute. Krillin asked back. That was my peak state, and it was very stressful to maintain it. What, is 1 minute so short? Son Goku scratched his head. It seems that you are proud of 1 minute. I just want to ask you, how can you fight others if you can only maintain 1 minute? Krillin didn't take it seriously at all. I'm just looking for my peak data. If it is the normal state that does not affect the speed, it should be able to last for 3 minutes when the 20x Kaioken is turned on. If it is the 10x Kaio, it's up to you, at least minutes. Quote. While Goku and Krillin were discussing, Tien Shinhan and Jiaozi also tested their combat power. Seeing that they had a combat power of 1 million per person. Even Jiaozi, who was the shortest, dumbest and weakest, had a combat power of more than 100,000. Raditz's mentality exploded again. Jiaozi didn't open Kaioken, but if he did, he would have 2 million. Raditz didn't think he wouldn't at all. Everyone knew their combat power, and Bulma recorded it for them. When everyone finished the test, Bulma looked at Goku. Goku, it's your turn, go and try it, remember, to improve to the highest level. I need to correctly plan the training method within a year based on your combat power. Son Goku asked. Open Kaioken. Bulma thought for a while and said. No need to open it, Kaioken is only 20 times, I'll just calculate it. Son Goku nodded. Okay. Then, Son Goku flew into the sky. The others were originally communicating, but suddenly saw Goku coming up, and immediately cast their eyes. Let's see how much Goku's combat power is. Chichi thought. Krillin's normal state can reach more than 200,000. Goku has enough strength to fight both of us, so it can reach more than 300,000, right? Krillin. Don't guess, you will know after a test. Well, it will be revealed soon. Soon, Son Goku raised his breath to the highest level. The breath of his whole body surged, and the wind was blowing. However, Goku did not become an exaggerated muscle. Only the most balanced state can fight well. The muscle form that pursues strength and gives up speed is useless. Bulma also read the specific combat power number of Son Goku. Goku is 298,500. What? Only 290,000, less than 30. Chichi felt that Goku's number was a bit low. Krillin put his hands on his hips. Does 290,000 count as 300,000? It's 1/3 higher than mine. Uku is really awesome. Bulma muttered. It's only 1,500 away from 300,000. With 20 times Kaioken, it's 6 million, not bad. Raditz swallowed again. 6 million is okay. Good guy, he came here with a full sense of superiority. It's like he is a high caste Saiyan. And this planet is full of weak Earthlings, he is superior to them. However, he has only been on Earth for more than a day, not to mention the beating he got yesterday. After all, 2,000 is greater than 1,500. However, today I actually saw their true combat power. The kid with 2,000 combat power did not use his full strength. His full strength is not even close to 2,000, that's 4.8 million combat power. It's an astronomical figure. Moreover, not only Krillin, but others are not much different. Kakarot is even more outrageous, having reached 6 million. Raditz's mouth was dry and he drank another drink. Their combat power is already unimaginable. Advertisement. He was already dumbfounded and numb. If he were in the Legion, he wouldn't even be qualified to carry shoes for these people. After a while, Bulma sorted out the information. Okay, I'll study it. I don't have any other good ways to improve combat effectiveness for now. However, I think I can teach you something to improve your cooperation ability. You may have to change your training method tomorrow. Fighting is not about strength, but teamwork and mutual help. Each of you is very strong. I think we can let someone be a boss. Open a certain multiple of Kaioken, and give a few Senzu beans as supplies. Then others are not allowed to open Kaioken, or low multiple Kaioken. Several people work together to besiege the boss. Try to defeat the boss without hurting anyone under the cooperation of the team. Injuries may occur, so we must be cautious and prepare Senzu beans. In addition, I am worried that the consumption of Senzu beans is too high. So I took Raditz's spaceship to circle it for me. In addition to transforming a large spaceship, the life support device on it can also be transformed into a treatment chamber. The treatment chamber can also be used at that time. Chichi nodded. ... Asterisk. I understand, Bulma's method is good. Is this a simulated battle against Frieza? Bulma nodded. Yes. Krillin laughed. Haha, I think if that's the case. This boss must be Goku, after all, he is the strongest. Bulma looked at Krillin and immediately denied. No, you two are the strongest. To attack Frieza, Goku and you should be the main force. So, neither you nor Goku can be the boss, you two must cooperate well to fight the boss. Krillin was shocked and then laughed. I cooperate with Goku. Then we two will definitely cooperate well. Bulma, you really understand me and Goku. Bulma smiled and asked. Does anyone else have any questions? Everyone shook their heads. No. Bulma nodded. Okay, that's it. I thought about it, you've basically reached a bottleneck for a long time. If you keep practicing in the gravity room, you won't improve much. So, from now on, the practice time will be halved. The team battle mode will start in the morning. So don't practice in the afternoon and evening, and take a proper rest. 0. We can go fishing together, have a drink or something, team building activities, relax. Krillin was shocked. What? Only practice for half a day in the future? Then can we defeat Frieza in a year? Bulma smiled. Do as I say, you can do it. Great. Bulma said yes, we can do it, after all, we have been practicing under Bulma's guidance for so many years. Yes, Bulma, you are amazing. I believe that under Bulma's planning, we will all become stronger. Quote. Bulma smiled and said, disband. After that, everyone dispersed. Just when Bulma was about to go to dinner with Goku, Raditz raised his hand weakly. Kakarot, Bulma, do you have any plans for me? Bulma was stunned for a moment. She forgot about him. She reacted immediately. Of course, the reason why I didn't let them use the gravity room was to make room for you. Now your foundation is too poor, it's not easy to catch up with them. From tomorrow, you can use the gravity room alone, adjust the multiple according to your own requirements. Even sleeping in the gravity room is no problem. Quote. Raditz was delighted. Really? That's great. Thank you, Bulma. Bulma smiled and said, you are Goku's brother, you're welcome. As soon as Bulma finished speaking, Son Goku made an opinion. By the way, it's too boring for you to practice alone, and you can't stick to it for a long time. You know, strength is not improved by a few days of intensive practice. This is a long-term thing. How about this? Piccolo is about the same strength as you, why don't I invite him to join you? Raditz was stunned for a moment. Who is Piccolo? Now the average person on Earth is a big shot, Raditz thought, this guy is about the same as him. Isn't it that he must have a few thousand combat power, far surpassing him? Son Goku blinked. A green-skinned man, you should have seen it. Raditz immediately thought of Piccolo, whom he met on Earth. It seems that after coming here, he is stronger than him alone. Thinking of this, Li Zi finally had a little confidence. Finally, he is not at the bottom. Good. Chapter 101 Shocked Vegeta. The next day, everyone started the group battle training plan. The battle method is air combat, and the location is the sea west of the resort. After a simple draw of rock paper scissors, Tien Shinhan became the boss of Jinyu. The strongest state is activated. 10 times Kaioken is activated. Then, the others did not activate Kaioken, and each threw skills at Tianjin. Krillin, look at me solar flare. As he said, Krillin put his hands on both sides of his head and activated the strongest control skill with the help of sunlight. This was originally Tien Shinhan's exclusive skill, but Krillin used it. Knowing the bug of solar flare, Tien Shinhan had to be cautious. Tien Shinhan closed his eyes. It seemed that he entered the state of tranquility like the sky taught by Bobo. In fact, it is to identify the position by sound. In the noise of the whistling sea breeze and the surging waves, he heard the sound of breaking the air and felt the flow of air. In a flash, Tien Shinhan, who was ready, closed his eyes. Solar flare was ineffective. However, when solar flare was shining, the other opponents who were besieging Tien Shinhan turned their backs to solar flare and began to throw skills at him. Jiaozi, Dongdongbo, Son Goku, Kameha, Yamcha, FK the air bomb. Chichi. This air slash is a bit beyond the scope, but I'll try it. However, when she took advantage of Tien Shinhan being controlled by solar flare and used the air slash. Originally, Chichi was worried that Bulma would scold her for the air slash. She clearly saw that Bulma, who was watching the battle below, looked very satisfied. It seems that Bulma is serious. In a multi-on-one situation, she has to play a little wolf. Forcing the boss to be a mortal enemy, this training is meaningful. So, Chi-Chi's air slash slashed towards Tien Shinhan. Little did they know that Bulma could only see the small wins and losses during the rest time of the battle, and 590 could not keep up with the speed of their battle. In Bulma's eyes, she could only see some energy collisions. Sometimes she could even lose track of people. However, she could still see Chi-Chi charging up for the Chi Yuan Zan. But she thought it was okay. Swish. At the same time, countless skills shot towards him. Tien Shinhan kept dodging in the air. He seemed to have dodged the attacks of various moves with ease. Except for being cautious about the Chi Yuan Zan and hiding a little further away. For other moves, such as the whole wave and the Chi bomb, he didn't waste any more movement and just went through. If he really couldn't avoid it, he would use Chi to resist. Even if the opponent had more people and stronger strength. But she had activated the 10-fold Kaioken, and her combat power could reach as much as 1 million. Her strength, speed, and defense were much stronger. Moreover, today was only the testing stage, and no one else was allowed to activate the Kaioken. Therefore, with a combat power of 1 million, the chance of failure against multiple people with combat power of 200,000 or 300,000 is very low. The combat power gap is too large, and even the defense cannot be broken. The only disadvantage is the lack of endurance. However, Bulma had already thought of the strategy before creating this team battle training mode. As the boss of today, he can have 10 Senzu beans as endurance supplies. When everyone's moves were used on Tien Shinhan again and again, but failed to produce any effect. Everyone also began to gradually let go of themselves. Goku and Krillin attacked with physical skills. When he needed to take a breath after a set of attacks, Tien Shinhan should counterattack. At this moment, Chi-Chi, Yamcha, and Jiaozi added skills. They also have strong cutting skills such as Chi Yuan Zan, so they can't be careless at all. They can only dodge. Just when Tien Shinhan was beaten by everyone and couldn't fight back, Zama shouted. Hey, Tien Shinhan, what are you doing? You were practicing to withstand pressure when you were fighting against so many people alone. Tien Shinhan was stunned. What do you mean? Bulma said. Just hurt 2 of them, let them lose their numbers, and defeat them one by one, isn't it? Tien Shinhan blinked. Am I going to kill them? Bulma. Control it, keep a breath, even if you die. The healing chamber and Senzu beans are ready, let go of the fight a little, otherwise this training is so expensive, it won't work if it doesn't work. Tien Shinhan nodded. I understand. After hearing Bulma's suggestion, Tien Shinhan also began to be ruthless. Well, Chichi is using Chi Yuan Zan to sneak attack, kill him first. Chi Gong Cannon. As a result, when he was just charging, Krillin sneaked up again. Tien Shinhan was suddenly interrupted, and kicked Krillin away with a backhand kick. Then he started to use a relatively fast small move. Even if he didn't charge, with the state of 10 times Kaioken, the small move could hurt them. Soon, Tien Shinhan entered the state of killing. During the battle, there were finally some exciting scenes. For example, someone was knocked away and was rescued by his teammates. Another example is who was locked, and then another person made a move to save Zhao. Tien Shinhan had to give up, killing an opponent to avoid the moves. The simulated battles became more and more exciting, and Bulma was getting more and more interested in watching. On the other side, Raditz and Piccolo were training in the large gravity room. Piccolo wore a gravity bracelet, and the gravity room was turned on. This made Piccolo, who tried high gravity for the first time, taste the sweetness. No wonder they are so strong. They have been training in a high-gravity environment since childhood. With the guidance of famous teachers such as Master Roshi, Karen Sage, Popo, and King Kai. If his basic combat power is not 100 times stronger than his, it would be considered respect for his talent. After a day of training, Piccolo couldn't help but sigh. What a hard life he had lived before. Similarly, Raditz, who had adapted to the high gravity over and over again, also felt the improvement in strength. Every night, Raditz could get a lot of gains by testing his combat power. Yes, he could make progress every day. The improvement in combat power undoubtedly gave motivation to this guy who was not very willing to practice. Before, he thought that he had no chance to surpass any of Kakarot and the others, and he was a little bit willing to give up. But, as a Saiyan, he was also a little unwilling. However, when he found that according to his current training progress, if nothing unexpected happened, in less than a year, his combat power would surpass Vegeta, he was very happy. Who is Vegeta? The Saiyan Prince, he is gifted. On weekdays, he is high and mighty, and treats himself and Nappa as errand boys, ordering them around all day long. Now, the chance to fight back has come, how can we not be excited? Raditz is somewhat looking forward to seeing Vegeta's expression of shock that he has surpassed him. How wonderful it would be. What shocked Raditz the most was that he was injured once when he was practicing. As a result, he recovered after taking a Senzu bean. He found out that this thing was amazing that day, and he felt that he had become stronger. Because after recovery, the same Dongwon was not so strenuous. So, at night, he asked Bulma to check his combat power, and the result was that the combat power had reached more than 3,000. He was almost catching up with Nappa. Raditz was almost moved to tears. He still wanted to get injured and use the Saiyan bug to improve his strength. After all, he still had 9 Senzu beans. However, when Bulma checked that his combat power had skyrocketed due to recovery from injury, he gave him advice. He also poured a bucket of cold water on him. Without solid practice, simply relying on recovery from injury and near death to improve combat power will soon reach a bottleneck. Actually, although being wounded and dying is a Saiyan's talent, it is actually just the development of combat potential that has not been used in training. If the wound healing continues for a few times, it will reach a bottleneck and become useless. A month has passed. The team battle training is in full swing. In order to cooperate, Krillin learned a new skill, which is still a charging skill similar to the magic light killing cannon or the air elemental slash. Because there are Dragon Balls and Senzu beans as a backup. Even, they developed a fighting method of exchanging injuries for lives. The effect is very good. However, this training was soon stopped. Advertisement. Because, after a month of group battle training, the consumption of these guys was getting worse and worse. Bulma found that the Senzu beans that were originally enough to last for a year were so exhausted so quickly. She didn't want Senzu beans to become a luxury that was out of reach, so she quickly stopped this training. However, although the consumption was the same, but in the past month, everyone has made a significant improvement. The combat effectiveness may not have been improved much. But the combat experience, acumen, or tacit understanding of cooperation have all been greatly improved. Because they have tasted the benefits of actual combat, even if Bulma does not provide Senzu beans support. Everyone still prefers combat training. It's just that it has changed from multiple people besieging one person to a one-on-one duel. Similar to the rules of the world's first martial arts association. You can't kill the opponent, admit defeat, or faint. Although it's not as intense as Krypton Senzu beans. But this training method is also suitable for them. In this way, whether it is Goku and his group, or Raditz and Piccolo, they all make progress a little bit every day. Time flies, and 11 months have passed in the blink of an eye. On this day, a spherical universe ship fell in the East City. It directly smashed a ruin. The powerful impact caused the ground to collapse and form a big pit. The people around were all shocked. The onlookers couldn't help but stop and watch. What's going on? I was so scared that I fell down. What happened? Was there an earthquake? Suddenly, the smoke and dust dissipated, and a round universe ship came into view. What is that? Is it a meteorite? It scared me, but fortunately it didn't hit me, otherwise I would be dead. At this moment, the door of the spherical universe ship opened, and Vegeta walked out. People who saw him were surprised. Hey, a person came out. Could it be that thing as the universe ship? It looks like an alien, and looks the same as us humans. Yeah, I thought aliens were all monkeys, but they look the same, with a pair of eyes and a mouth. Just shorter. Vegeta ignored everyone and looked around. After a while, Vegeta said, "Is this the Earth? It doesn't look very good." Looking around, no one came to welcome him. Vegeta snorted coldly. Huh, you said I should come, but no one came to greet me, King Vegeta. Kakarot didn't come, and Raditz didn't come either, which really annoyed me. Quote. As he said this, Vegeta pressed the detector. Forget it, let's see where they are first. As he said this, Vegeta pressed the detector. Although Vegeta knew that if the detector was turned on, it would be detected by Frieza's army. But this was just an Earth that was of no use to him. The safety of the Earth had nothing to do with him, so he didn't care whether the Earth was targeted by Frieza. Just then, Vegeta's detector, beep, beep, sounded. Vegeta curled his lips and immediately smiled. Hey, there are so many powerful energy reactions. As he said this, he was about to check the combat power. But when he was about to press the detector to check the combat power, a voice suddenly stopped him. Hey, Vegeta, bandit. Don't use that detector. Quote. Vegeta looked over in the direction of the voice. Raditz was walking towards him. And he quickly approached him. Raditz's height of more than 2 meters made him look particularly short in front of Vegeta. Vegeta's face showed a hint of annoyance. Raditz, didn't I tell you not to get too close to me? It will make me look very short. Raditz scratched his head and moved a little further away from him. He complained. Vegeta, you are really troublesome, and you still have the same bad temper as before. Vegeta's pupils shrank. What, you said I'm troublesome? You actually talk to me like this. Are you getting cocky and want to challenge my authority? The feeling of being oppressed by Vegeta for a lifetime surged into his heart, and Raditz's original momentum immediately disappeared. No, I don't mean that, Vegeta. I just adapted to the way of communication on Earth and forgot how to talk to you, don't mind it. Hearing Raditz's change of tone, Vegeta did not continue to get angry. Forget it, that's not important. Have you prepared the Dragon Ball that woman mentioned? Raditz scratched his head. Dragon Ball? What Dragon Ball? Vegeta said angrily. I mean, if you collect 7 Dragon Balls, you can make a wish, right? Raditz suddenly realized. You mean that one? No one collects it, Bulma only has one. And, for a while, Dragon Balls are not allowed to be used for other things. You can only make a wish once a year with Dragon Balls. Bulma said that this time when he goes to fight Frieza, the Dragon Ball is a layer of insurance. If we can't beat him together, we can still revive with the Dragon Ball. Vegeta said angrily. Idiot, don't you have brains? Is that how you use Dragon Ball? You idiots, do you think that a bunch of ants can really defeat 3.0 Frieza if they unite? Raditz raised his eyebrows. Hey, Vegeta, I've been putting up with you for so long. I can't stand it anymore. Don't keep calling me a fool. I'm no less powerful than you now. Don't talk nonsense in front of me. Also, you're not our captain anymore. We're a team now, everyone is equal, don't order me around. Vegeta looked at Raditz in shock. Raditz looked arrogant and didn't take him seriously at all. Vegeta was furious. You're looking for death. As he said that, Vegeta raised his hand and an energy bullet shot at Raditz. Raditz's mouth curled. Then he waved his hand knife and caught the energy bullet directly. Vegeta's pupils shrank. What? You can bounce my energy bullet so quickly? Raditz smiled. Hee, Vegeta, you can't control your breath at all. Now I'm finally sure that you are so weak even in front of me. What did you say? Raditz smiled contemptuously. Since you want to open the detector, it's up to you. As he spoke, Raditz's breath increased. As he spoke, Vegeta's detector beeped. 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. Bang! Vegeta's detector exploded directly. Vegeta was shocked. How is it possible? My detector is broken. Raditz was also stunned. Oh, I forgot, the detection limit of the old detector is only more than 20,000. No wonder it exploded. Quote. Vegeta's pupils shrank sharply. You mean, your combat power has surpassed me, more than 20,000. Chapter 102 Turles invades Earth. Seeing Vegeta doubting his life because of his own fighting ability. Raditz felt a strong sense of satisfaction. What's wrong, Vegeta? Isn't it just that I surpassed you? Don't worry, you are a genius. Kakarot's wife is very powerful, her IQ is extraordinary. It was she who invented a very powerful training method when she was a child, which can tap people's potential to the greatest extent. It was under her training that Kakarot became the most powerful warrior on this planet. So, don't be discouraged. Compared with the Earthlings, we Saiyans are actually more talented in fighting. And you, as the Prince of Saiyan, have a stronger talent. As long as you can practice as hard as I do, you will soon surpass me. As he said, Raditz bent down and picked up the broken detector. It's a waste that this thing is broken like this. I'll take it back to Bulma, she should be able to fix it. At this moment, Vegeta finally recovered and turned to look at Raditz in surprise. Raditz, what is your current combat power? Raditz thought for a moment and said, about 50,000 or so. I haven't tested it for several days. What, 50,000 or so? Vegeta took a breath again. Aren't you stronger than Dodoria and Sabo? Raditz smiled. To be precise, except for Frieza and the Ginyu Force. I am stronger than all the generals under Frieza. How is that possible? Raditz, you have only been here for a year, and you have become so powerful. Vegeta 13 could not help but be shocked and replied. Raditz smiled. That's right, in fact, my talent is not bad. My 1 year of practice has surpassed the efforts of those Earthlings for many years. I believe that in a few years, I will be able to surpass most Earthlings. Vegeta could not help but question again. Raditz, are you kidding? Your combat power has soared from 1,500 to 50,000 in 1 year. It will take several years to catch up with them. Raditz sighed. That can't be helped. They have been practicing with scientific methods for a long time. Even if they are not as talented as me. They are still much stronger than me. Forget it, let's not talk about this. No one knew you were coming today, otherwise they would have waited for you. Today is their turn for the land group battle simulation that they haven't held for a long time. In the morning, they went to King Kai and will not be back until the evening. It was Bulma who found you through the detector. She said that she was worried that you would bring Nappa to destroy the Earth. That's why she specially notified me and asked me to pick you up quickly. Vegeta was stunned. King Kai, group battle. What are you talking about? Raditz explained. Actually, it's just going to a place to simulate a battle. Don't worry, it's just a melee combat practice. If they notice that you are back, I believe they will come in half an hour. Vegeta asked again. Does it mean that they are not on Earth at this time? Raditz nodded. Yes, I have said it. If they knew you were coming, they would probably come back in a while. They all fly very fast, or that place is not far away. Quote. Just as Raditz was about to leave, he suddenly stopped. He glanced around and then looked at Vegeta. No, Vegeta, why didn't I see Nappa? Didn't you land at a different place? When Vegeta heard Raditz mention Nappa, he remembered him. He was instantly furious, and a number sign appeared between his eyebrows. Nappa, That B asterisk 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 D heard that I wanted to rebel against Frieza. He actually informed Frieza's army. I found out. I killed him. What? When Raditz heard this, he immediately swallowed his saliva. Nappa. That guy actually informed. It's incredible. However, Raditz thought about it and he also understood Nappa. Before, Raditz was the weakest among the three. The three of them mixed in Frieza's army, invading planets every day, and their lives were actually pretty good. Moreover, he also knew that Frieza's fighting power was ridiculously high, so high that he could easily blow up a planet. In addition, Frieza had the 5-member Ginyu force under his command, as well as masters such as Sabo and Dodoria. All of whom they could not defeat. Therefore, before coming here, he had never thought of rebelling against Frieza. He didn't even dare to think about it. However, since coming to Earth, after knowing that Kakarot and those Earthlings had millions of fighting power, he changed his mind greatly. Especially after knowing that Kakarot had become the strongest, his Saiyan national pride rose again. Saiyan is the strongest fighting nation. Why should Frieza be the emperor of the universe? How much better it would be to let Saiyan be the emperor of the universe. Raditz sighed. You betrayed us, what a pity. There will be even fewer Saiyans this way. Forget it, since you're dead, you're dead. Thanks to Nappa, it seems that Frieza has also targeted the Earth. But it doesn't matter. Advertisement. You came a month earlier than we expected. We originally planned to go to Frieza a month later. This is good, you can improve your strength a little, and we can go to Namek House together. Anyway, the battlefield must not be set on Earth. After saying that, Raditz changed the subject. Let's go, Vegeta. I'll show you how powerful the Earth's gravity chamber is. I relied on this and worked hard for a year to become so strong. As he said that, Raditz was about to walk towards the resort. However, Vegeta asked another question. No, didn't you say that they are not on Earth? Raditz was confused. Yes, what's wrong? Vegeta immediately said. When I came here just now, I used the detector to discover a lot of powerful energy. Is it possible that there are many strong people on Earth besides Kakarot and others? Raditz blinked and said. No, you are seeing it wrong. Most people on Earth don't practice, and they are only scum with a combat power of 5. Vegeta said angrily. Impossible, I will never be seeing it wrong. At this moment, a dark cloud suddenly spread and covered the sky. Raditz looked up. Hey, is it going to rain? Vegeta was also curious. Is the climate on Earth so bad? It was sunny just now, and it's going to rain in such a moment. No wonder no one has invaded the Earth for so many years. Raditz looked at the sky and shook his head. No, the climate on Earth is not bad at all. What happened today? Just then, something like a dead branch came into view. Vegeta was stunned for a moment. Hey, Raditz, what is that? Raditz rubbed his eyes and looked at it carefully. It seems like a tree is growing. But this tree is too big, isn't it? And it grows too fast. The gravity on Earth is low. Although the trees on Earth grow faster than the trees on our planet Vegeta. It still takes several years to grow. I have been on Earth for a year, and I have never seen a tree that grows so fast. Vegeta carefully looked at the tree trunks and branches in the sky, and suddenly his eyes fixed. No, that is not a normal tree at all, it seems to be the legendary spirit tree. Raditz asked curiously. Spirit tree? What the hell is that? Vegeta scanned the branches and vines in the sky around him, and finally confirmed this thing. As a royal family, he still has a lot of knowledge. The corners of his mouth rose high. He smiled and said, I've heard of the spirit tree. It seems to be a plant that absorbs the planet as nutrients. After being parasitized by the spirit tree, the planet will wither soon. It seems that I have caught up with someone invading the Earth. What a coincidence. Raditz couldn't help but be curious. Invasion of the Earth. Are you kidding? Who has such a great ability? Suddenly, Raditz's pupils shrank. Oh no, it can't be Frieza. Damn, why did he come at this time instead of earlier or later? It's really disgusting. Vegeta wanted to explain that it was not Frieza, and he would not use such a despicable method. However, Vegeta suddenly found that he didn't need to explain to Raditz at all. The strong didn't need to explain too much to the weak. Although Raditz was stronger than himself now, Vegeta firmly believed that if he could practice like this, the result would definitely be 100 times stronger than him in the same amount of time. He had full confidence in his talent and understanding. Vegeta said, let's go and see who it is. As he spoke, Vegeta flew towards the tree trunk. Raditz hesitated for a moment and followed him. A moment later, the two arrived at the tree trunk. There was a dense branch at the top, and the sky could not be seen. So the earth suddenly became so dark. The tree trunk was also tens of thousands of times thicker than an ordinary tree, and it was still expanding. Raditz's eyes were cold. It's just a tree. I don't believe that this thing can drain the planet dry. As he spoke, Raditz gathered powerful energy in his palm and suddenly blasted the tree trunk. The powerful ki blast exploded on the tree trunk, raising a violent cloud of dust. Vegeta couldn't help but take a breath of cold air when he saw this scene. The Raditz, whom he had never looked down on before, was actually so strong. It was the first time he saw a guy with a combat power of 50,000 take action. At this moment, the dust dissipated. The trunk was intact, still growing and expanding at the same speed. Raditz was shocked. How is it possible? I can't even break a tree. Vegeta's eyes narrowed. Sure enough, the legend is true. The spirit tree is very strong, not comparable to ordinary trees. It is also said that eating the fruit of the spirit tree can turn you fishy. Raditz blinked. How strong can it be? Vegeta curled his lips. Who knows? At this moment, a familiar figure slowly appeared in front of them. Vegeta's eyes flashed. Are you Kakarot? Raditz was immediately stunned. Hey, Kakarot, didn't you go to King Kai? You came back so soon. Well, let me introduce you. This is Vegeta, the former prince of our Saiyan. Quote. The man looked at Vegeta and Raditz, and couldn't help but curl his lips. So it's King Vegeta. Ha 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 ha. I didn't expect that I would meet a Saiyan fellow when I invaded a small planet. I'm just short of manpower. Come on, join me, Vegeta. Raditz suddenly realized something was wrong and immediately said, You are not Kakarot. The man laughed and said, Kakarot. It's also a Saiyan name. Besides you two, do we have other fellows hiding on this planet? Ha 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 ha. That's great, then we have one more person. Let me introduce myself, I'm Turles. Chapter 103 Vegeta is healed from severe injuries. Vegeta was somewhat dismissive when he heard Turles' invitation. However, he was not disgusted, after all, they were all Saiyan. However, if they cooperated, he had to take the lead. After all, he was once the Prince of Saiyan. Before Vegeta could react, Raditz approached Turles. Hearing that he was not Kakarot, he really couldn't help but look him up and down. Your name is Turles. Yes. Quote. Raditz touched his chin and walked around Turles, looking at him very carefully from head to toe. Turles was even scared. Turles was a little annoyed. Hey, Raditz. What are you looking at? Is it necessary to be so careful? You don't have any special fetish, do you? Raditz finally finished looking, standing in front of him and looking at him seriously. Raditz said. Tisk, tisk, it's so strange, you and my brother Kakarot look exactly the same. Hearing this, Turles laughed and said, Maybe many lower-level soldiers look like me, isn't this good, ha 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 ha. Raditz shook his head. No, it feels wrong. Suddenly, Raditz's pupils shrank. Turles, I'm asking you, who is your father? Turles was stunned for a moment, and asked back, What do you mean? Raditz said meaningfully. Rather than saying that you look like Kakarot, it's better to say that you look like my father. I suspect that you are the illegitimate child of my father and his lover. Illegitimate child. Vegeta on the side was surprised, and his gossipy heart got up, and he also looked at Turles. Indeed, when planet Vegeta still existed, in the palace. I saw Burdock once, and you really look like him. Turles snorted coldly. Enough, stop talking nonsense, I'm not the son of Burdock. My father is just an unknown lower-level warrior. Looking alike is purely coincidental. Vegeta touched his chin. That's true. However, Raditz questioned again. Turles, right. Excuse me, who is your mother? Vegeta almost laughed when he heard this. He looked at Turles with a gossipy look on his face, with a little sneer on his face. Feeling Raditz's doubt and Vegeta's sneer, Turles was instantly furious, and he looked at Raditz fiercely. You are looking for death. As he spoke, an energy bomb hit Raditz. Fortunately, this energy bomb only meant to make him shut up, and it didn't cause much trouble. Raditz was able to ask this question, so he was naturally prepared and easily avoided the attack. Don't be so angry, Turles. Originally, our planet Vegeta was gone, and the people who harmed it were almost extinct. It was just luck that we met a Saiyan. You and my brother are so similar, we actually met. Let's talk about it, what if you are my half-brother? Turles said angrily. Damn it, don't mention my mother, you are looking for death. Turles was about to attack Raditz. Raditz was not afraid, and directly raised his hands to wipe. Are you going to hit me? Don't worry, I will spare your life. If I accidentally kill you, Dad will be angry in his grave. Hole. Turles rushed towards Raditz. He punched hard. Just when he was about to hit Raditz, Raditz disappeared. Turles' face froze. Here. Turles immediately looked towards the voice, and saw Raditz standing behind him with an arrogant face. Vegeta's sight was still following Raditz's figure. However, his dodging caused Vegeta to lose track of him. Vegeta couldn't help but his pupils shrank suddenly. Damn, Raditz, that B***************, his strength has increased so much. I can't even see his movements. At this moment, the detector on Turles' face beeped. Hey, it's not easy, your combat power is more than 50,000. Raditz smiled. Are you surprised by 50,000 combat power? Turles frowned. What do you mean, is it possible that you still have a strong combat power hidden? Raditz waved his hand hurriedly. No, there is no such thing. My fighting power is only this much. However, I am the weakest among us. 50,000 fighting power surprised you. It seems that you are not strong. How about this? I won't invite you to join your team. I am tired of fighting those planets with little fighting power. I will help you to do something big. Don't be surprised. We are going to kill Frieza. You just need to join us. We are all Saiyans. After defeating Frieza, it will be our turn for Saiyans to rule the entire universe. Also, since you look the same as my brother Kakarot, you can be my other brother. By the way, how old are you? Let's see who is the second one between you and Kakarot. Hole. You are looking for death. Turles was furious and punched Raditz. Raditz crossed his arms and dodged Turles' moves with a confident look. Turles roared and attacked continuously, but he could not touch Raditz at all. Originally, because of his background, he had been humiliated by Raditz for so long. Now he threw many empty punches, and Turles' energy was instantly stronger. He attacked Raditz again. After a few moves, he still could not touch Raditz at all. Turles immediately retreated and distanced himself. He looked up at the branches all over the sky. It seemed that he was looking for the ripe fruits of the spirit tree. But Raditz didn't know about this. Seeing that Turles' attack stopped, he began to persuade him. Brother, what's wrong? If you don't fight anymore, then it's my turn to fight back. As he said that, Raditz clenched his fists, and his fists made a clicking sound. Then he rushed towards Turles. Turles was startled. He wanted to dodge, but Raditz's fists were faster and more powerful. Turles was hit by his 2 punches, and it felt like he was hit by the universe ship, and his ribs hurt. As Raditz exerted his strength, after 3 punches and 2 kicks, Wallace was instantly knocked out. However, at this moment, the branches and buds of the spirit tree in the sky began to change. Stars kept crawling on the spirit tree. Fruits began to grow behind the flowers, and they were getting bigger and bigger. Raditz was also a little curious when he saw this scene. Is this the result? There are so many fruits. I wonder how they taste and what the effect is. Raditz looked at Vegeta and asked, "What do you think, Vegeta?" Vegeta looked up and snorted. Boring thing. I don't believe that eating this kind of thing can permanently improve combat effectiveness. It must be not the first time he has eaten this, but his strength is not as good as yours, Raditz. Raditz suddenly realized. That makes sense, Vegeta is worthy of it, he figured it out in an instant. Vegeta snorted. Even if it can permanently increase combat power, this prince doesn't care. He clenched his fist and gently raised it in front of him. Only the power you gain through your own practice can be considered your own. That kind of power that comes out of thin air is absolutely unreliable. Quote. As soon as the voice fell, Turles picked a fruit from the spirit tree. After 2 bites, his muscles swelled up all of a sudden. Not only did his body grow bigger, but his breath also became several times stronger in an instant. Raditz was shocked. Oh no, I just ate 2 bites of the spirit tree fruit, and my breath became several times stronger all of a sudden. Vegeta's pupils shrank. He looked at Raditz and asked, What are you talking about? What is it several times stronger? Raditz. Advertisement. Raditz explained. Nothing, this is called breath perception. It's just a way of practicing on Earth. You don't need to rely on detectors, but rely on judging the breath strength. Not only can you judge the combat effectiveness, but you can also sense where the opponent is. Quote. Vegeta's mind was a little shaken. So that's it, it turns out that there is a way to practice this ability on Earth. Quote. Raditz said with some pride. That's right, there are still many magical things on Earth. Just then, Turles approached them again. Humph, you keep talking about Earth. You are a Saiyan who invaded a planet, but you actually like this planet. It seems that this planet is indeed magical. But it's a pity that the spirit tree has matured. And the energy of this planet has been almost completely absorbed. So, it won't be long before this planet will become desertified and eventually become a dead planet. Quote. Raditz was stunned. What did you say? Turles raised his mouth. I said, this planet is going to be destroyed. Raditz was shocked and immediately looked back. He looked at the planet that had begun to turn into a desert, and a look of horror flashed in his eyes. Raditz said angrily. Damn it, Kakarot and the others were not here for just a while. And you have ruined the Earth like this, you deserve to die. As he said that, Raditz punched Raditz. Raditz, who had just crushed Turles, was knocked out in an instant. He wiped the corner of his mouth. Damn it, he was not my opponent just now, but now he has become so powerful. This shitty spirit tree fruit is really weird. As he said that, Raditz looked at Vegeta. Vegeta, come with me and kill him. Vegeta clenched his fists tightly and punched Turles. Raditz also followed closely. However, Turles was so brave at this moment that neither of them could see the action clearly. And was directly killed. Turles' 2 heavy blows hit back and hit the ground heavily. Crack. When landing, Vegeta heard a violent bone fracture. He was not strong enough to fight, and was seriously injured when he hit the tree trunk. There was a violent spasm in his stomach, and he vomited blood all of a sudden. At this moment, Raditz stood up. His injury was not serious. But he found that Vegeta was seriously injured, and immediately looked at Vegeta. Is it okay, Vegeta? Ahem. Vegeta was about to speak, and spit out blood again. Raditz realized that he was seriously injured. Turles in the sky saw this scene and was a little surprised. Quote. Vegeta, are you really the Prince of Saiyan? I thought you were very strong, but I didn't expect you to be so weak. You are not even as weak as Raditz next to you. I have to declare in advance that I really didn't want to kill you just now. Quote. Seeing that Vegeta was breathing less and breathing more after being hit by him, Les's face flushed. Too weak. It seems that the legendary Saiyan genius has long since become a mediocre person. From now on, the ownership of the universe will belong to me, Les. Turles glanced at Raditz, then at Vegeta, who lay dying on the ground. Said, since you Vegeta are just a waste, there is no need for me to pull you on my spaceship. In addition, Turles glanced at Raditz and said, Raditz, you have to die too. You two go together. As he said that, Turles gathered an energy bomb in his hand and pointed it at Area 2. Don't do it. Raditz realized that he had gone too far and immediately persuaded him to stop. However, the energy bomb did not hesitate at all and directly hit the two of them. Raditz was shocked and immediately crossed his arms, ready to resist with his chi. As long as he doesn't die and holds on for a while, Kakarot and the others will come back. However, feeling Turtle's powerful fighting power at the moment, he realized that he might be in trouble. Damn, if I could also eat a bite of the fruit of the spirit tree. I must be stronger than that guy. Kakarot, remember to save me with Dragon Ball. Raditz muttered. Just when the energy was about to drown the two, a golden energy burst horizontally. When the energy failed to hit Raditz and Vegeta exploded halfway. The violent explosion instantly raised a cloud of dust. In the dust, Raditz immediately stood up and was about to leave. However, he looked at Vegeta who was dying beside him. He gritted his teeth and took out a senzu bean. I only have 2 of them, and I have to give you one, damn it. Remember to return it to me when you are rich in the future. After saying that, Raditz picked up Vegeta and stepped aside. And fed the senzu bean into Vegeta's mouth. Vegeta was dying, but suddenly found that he was full of energy, Li Dezhao. The trance caused by excessive blood loss also disappeared. Moreover, he immediately realized that his injuries had healed and he had become much stronger. He couldn't help but look at Raditz. What did you give me to eat? Raditz smiled and said. Senzu beans, how about it, very powerful, right? This thing can heal injuries as long as it has a breath. Quote. Just then, the smoke and dust cleared, and Turtle's figure appeared. Who is it? A figure slowly appeared, a green face under a white headscarf and a white cloak. Turtles frowned. Who are you? Seeing Piccolo, Raditz was obviously disappointed. Ah, I thought it was Kakarot and the others who came back, but it turned out to be Piccolo. Piccolo snorted coldly. Huh, from your tone. I'm here, you seem disappointed. I wouldn't have come if I had known. Raditz smiled awkwardly. Ha ha ha, just kidding. That guy ate that fruit and became very powerful. I'll join forces with you to deal with him. Damn it, I have been training hard for a year. If I can't even beat this guy, my brother will look down on me. Piccolo nodded and tore off his cape and headscarf. The two rushed towards Turtles together. Vegeta was also surprised to see Piccolo and Raditz join forces to attack Turtles. He looked at his hands in disbelief. It's incredible. Is this the talent of Saiyans to become stronger after resurrecting from the brink of death? I couldn't see anything just now. Now I can actually see the movements of 3 people clearly. At this moment, Raditz and Piccolo were kicked at the same time and flew out heavily. Vegeta saw Turtle's face and immediately pointed his thumb at himself. Damn it, I let you look down on me just now, let me show you how powerful I am. As he said that, Vegeta rushed into the sky, gathered all his strength, and punched Wallace. Chapter 104 Goku attacks, shocking Vegeta. King Kai's planet. Oh no, oh no. Son Goku and his group were still fighting, and King Kai ran out of the hut in a panic. Oh no, something happened to the Earth, let's stop. The fight stopped immediately. Son Goku looked curious. Lord King Kai, why are you so panicked, what happened to the planet? Krillin asked uneasily. Could it be that Vegeta and Nappa are here, and they start destroying the Earth when they come? Tien Shinhan nodded immediately. I heard from Raditz that Nappa, that guy, every time he invades a planet, he will cause a lot of destruction to highlight his grand appearance. Son Goku's eyes flickered, then he shook his head and looked at King Kai. Lord Kai, what's the matter? Please tell me. Kai wiped the sweat from his forehead and said, Vegeta is here, but he is not the one who destroyed the Earth. Just now when I was sleeping, a group of people came to Earth and planted a spiritual tree. It's too late now. The spiritual tree has already blossomed and borne fruit. Life on Earth will also be destroyed. Everyone was shocked. What? Krillin's forehead broke out in cold sweat. No way, we are fine when we are on Earth every day. As a result, the Earth has suffered such serious damage when we occasionally come out for such a day. Who is that person? How can he skip his days? Who did it? A drop of sweat broke out on Yamcha's forehead. I still remember what Bulma said 6 years ago. With the development of science and technology, aerospace technology has become more and more mature. Sooner or later, someone will invade the Earth. We are also working hard to practice for the peace of the Earth. I didn't expect that this day would come so soon. It caught us off guard. The next moment, Yamcha clenched his fists. But it's time to test the results of my training. Hearing the spirit tree, Son Goku immediately thought of that person, who seemed to be called Turtles. Son Goku hurriedly asked, King Kai, do you know where that person came from? King Kai shook his head. I don't know, those people are a group of people, they should have come from other star regions. They are very skilled in doing things, otherwise it would be impossible to absorb all the nutrients of the Earth so quickly. But there is one thing, the leader of that group is Saiyan, and he looks exactly like Goku. Ah, Krillin couldn't help but be surprised. How is it possible, he looks like Goku? Yamcha looked at Son Goku and immediately asked, Goku, do you have a younger brother? Son Goku shook his head. No, but I think I should know who the 3,273 people are. Don't worry about it, let's go back quickly. Suddenly, Son Goku thought of Raditz's current strength and immediately asked, by the way, Lord Kai, can Raditz beat that guy? Others also looked at King Kai. King Kai looked a little strange, neither nodding nor shaking his head. That man must have eaten the fruit of the spirit tree and became extraordinarily powerful. Raditz and the newly arrived Vegeta were both resisting. But both were no match for him and were beaten badly. Son Goku breathed a sigh of relief. Oh, that's okay, it's a good thing that they got beaten. They're all Saiyans, I don't think turtles will kill them, right? Chichi immediately said. Anyway, let's go. King Kai sighed and said, it's useless for you to rush back. The earth is almost drained. I heard that any planet parasitized by the spirit tree can't escape the fate of desertification and destruction. Soon, your planet will be gone. You should quickly find a new planet to settle down, my place is too small. And the gravity is 10 times higher than that of the earth, so don't bring too many people back. Tien Shinhan and Jiaozi looked at each other, and then looked at King Kai. Tien Shinhan asked, it shouldn't be that serious. Chichi suddenly thought of something and said, don't be so pessimistic, we still have Dragon Ball on Earth. When they heard about Dragon Ball, everyone's face lit up. Oh, that's right, we have the omnipotent Dragon Ball on Earth. That's great, we don't have to worry at all. Son Goku thought about it, Dragon Ball might not be able to cure the spirit tree. However, with their current strength, it shouldn't be a problem to remove the spirit tree. He saw that everyone had absolute confidence in Dragon Ball. So he didn't raise any objections, now was not the time to discuss. Son Goku immediately said, let's go back quickly, your relationship is free, don't worry. Bulma and my daughter are still on Earth. Krillin also nodded. Goku is right. Sino and my daughter are also here, I hope they are all okay. With that, several people immediately said goodbye to King Kai and flew back along the Snake Road. Son Goku estimated the time while flying rapidly. At the current speed, it would take at least 20 minutes. At this moment, a palpitation suddenly came over him. Why do I feel so nervous? Is Bulma going to be in trouble? Son Goku looked back at Krillin. BDCC. Krillin, I feel something is wrong, let's go first. Krillin nodded immediately. Well, go, Goku. Kaioken. In an instant, Son Goku burst out with red aura, and suddenly turned into a stream of light and shot towards the Earth. As expected, Vegeta's fist couldn't even break Turtle's defense. A set of random punches and the prince's fighting method only made Turtle stick with some dust. Before the smoke and dust dissipated, Inlis appeared in the crowd. The corner of his mouth showed a trace of evil. Hee, my lovely King Vegeta. Put away your high and mighty attitude. No matter you were a genius warrior or a royal blood before. You are not even a dog now. As he said that, Turles punched Vegeta in the abdomen, and it seemed that his internal organs were broken at once. Vegeta groaned miserably, his eyeballs bulged, and a mouthful of old blood spurted out again. His breath suddenly became weak. Turles looked at Vegeta with a look like he was looking at trash. Poor guy, can't you even take a punch from me? As he said that, Raditz lifted Vegeta's hair. Knee strike, whip kick, left hook, right hook. In an instant, Vegeta's screams resounded all over the field. After a set of combined punches, Vegeta was beaten to pieces and his face was covered with blood. But Turles seemed to be just playing with him, and didn't kill him directly. He stepped on Vegeta's face and played with him wantonly. Hey, Prince, why are you lying on the ground? The ground is cold, get up quickly. Vegeta spat bloody saliva at Turles. Bah, trash low-level warrior. It's just trash that relies on external things to become stronger. He looked down on those who relied on eating spirit tree fruits to improve their strength. Although Vegeta was seriously injured, he was still very tough and never said a soft word. Because of this, he was met with continuous cruel abuse from Vegeta. Raditz, who was standing by, was also injured, but it was not a big deal. After all, he was much stronger than Vegeta. In addition, Raditz was not as talkative as Vegeta. He did not resist after being beaten and lay on the ground without getting up. Moreover, Vegeta attracted firepower for him. At this moment, watching Vegeta being beaten by Turles, he secretly looked at a ripe spirit tree fruit not far away. That position was above the back of Turles. If he rushed to eat, he would probably be stopped by Turles, or even killed. Advertisement. If he didn't eat, with Vegeta's vitality, he wouldn't survive more than 3 minutes. He didn't think Turles would let him go. He wouldn't be able to survive until Kakarot and the others came back. Raditz was in a dilemma. Suddenly, he saw Piccolo, who was dying beside him. Hey, you're not dead, are you? Piccolo opened his eyes and looked at him weakly. I have a senzu bean here. You eat this, and then go to the Dalian village. I'll take this opportunity to eat a fruit. If you can, just blink. Very good, then you can't regret it. As he said that, Raditz crawled 2 steps and stuffed the senzu bean into Piccolo's mouth. As Buick chewed the senzu bean and swallowed it, his injuries immediately recovered. He did not move rashly, and his hand was against his forehead. A golden qigong gathered at his fingertips. The charged magic light killing cannon. At this moment, Wallace's foot that had been kicking Vegeta stopped. Because his detector beeped. When Piccolo charges, his combat power will surge, triggering the energy reaction of the detector. Turles suddenly turned his head and looked at Piccolo and Raditz. Seeing the beast-like gaze, Raditz's anus tightened. He cursed with some regret. FK, Piccolo, FK your uncle. I asked you to lead him away, why did you use your ultimate move? You ruined my good deeds. It was said in a split second. Turles pointed his finger. And a fierce energy bomb hit Piccolo. In an instant, Piccolo's chest was penetrated by the energy bomb. His eyes were immediately scattered, and the power of the magic light killing cannon in his hand was also dissipated. Then he fell heavily. The next moment, Turles pointed his palm at Raditz again. Raditz's tiger body shook and immediately raised his hands. Don't kill me, Inlis. I thought about it and now I understand. Your suggestion just now suddenly makes sense. It doesn't matter who we fight with. We are all Saiyans, and we should follow the most stringent. I have decided to fight with you in the future. Turles, mouth curled up slightly. Raditz, you have a really good dream. You compromise with me first, win my trust, and then eat a fruit of the spirit tree, and after your strength soars, you will take the opportunity to kill me. Raditz shuddered. No, I don't mean that. Really. I think you look too much like my father Burdock, and I feel close to you. When Turles heard this again, he remembered the illegitimate child and instantly became angry. Go to hell. As he said that, Turles shot another air bullet at Raditz. Raditz complained in his heart that Piccolo was a pig teammate, and then closed his eyes helplessly. Kakarot, don't forget to revive me. Just when the gas bullet was about to hit Raditz, a figure flashed by and knocked the gas bullet away. The gas bullet exploded somewhere else, causing waves of air. It exploded, but he didn't die. Raditz was stunned. He opened his eyes, raised his head, and asked, "Do you agree?" As soon as he finished speaking, Raditz saw Son Goku in front of him with his back to him. In an instant, Raditz's eyes were filled with tears. Kakarot, you are finally here. If you don't come, I will be dead. Seeing Son Goku, Turles was also surprised. Are you Kakarot? Son Goku ignored him and turned to look at Raditz. Quote. Raditz, are you okay? Raditz shook his head. I'm fine, it's all Piccolo's fault. If it weren't for him, I would have eaten the fruit of the spirit tree and killed Tianels. Now, he acted rashly. Not only was he killed, but my plan was also ruined. Son Goku's pupils shrank. What? Is Piccolo dead? Goku looked around. Soon he saw Piccolo lying on the ground with a bloody hole on his chest. Piccolo. Son Goku immediately flashed to Piccolo's side and stretched out his hand to feel his breath. This is troublesome, he's really dead. Raditz was a little annoyed. Hey, Kakarot, are you sick? You and Piccolo don't have a good relationship either. And he practices in the training room every day, aiming to kill you every day. Why do you care so much about Piccolo's death, but don't care about me, your brother? I suspect I'm not your real brother, but my father picked me up. Son Goku exhaled. Because, if he dies, the Dragon Ball on Earth will also be ineffective. Raditz's pupils shrank. What? How can Piccolo's death be related to Dragon Ball? At this moment, Dales, who was left aside, asked. Hey, you two, have you finished exchanging last words? Son Goku turned around and looked at Turles. Are you Turles? Turles nodded, and then suddenly froze. Hey, I haven't introduced myself to you yet, do you know me? Just as Son Goku was about to answer, Inli interrupted him. Forget it, that's not important. Similarly, I give you two choices. First, join my spaceship. Second, die. Son Goku ignored him, but glanced at the tall spirit tree. And felt the breath on the earth. Except for the powerful people like them who have huge energy. The breath of everyone on the earth has weakened a lot. Son Goku's eyes suddenly became cold. He looked at Turles and uttered a word softly. Die. Raditz was stunned, and then laughed. Ha 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 ha. So interesting, you actually chose to die right away, you are so stupid. The next moment, his expression froze. Because Son Goku's figure flashed in front of him as if teleporting. His fist had penetrated his chest and lungs. Turles looked down at his pierced body in disbelief. His eyes were suddenly filled with horror. How is it possible? The next moment, Son Goku's energy flashed in his hand, drowning Turles in an instant. After the light faded, Turles completely turned into dust in the universe. Lying on the ground, Vegeta still had a breath. When he saw that Son Goku had punched through Turles. His scalp numbed and sweated profusely. Punch through with one punch. Only when the strength is several times greater can one achieve such an easy crushing. His pupils shook violently. No wonder Raditz said he was the weakest among the practitioners on Earth. No wonder the probe invited him to kill Frieza. It turns out that Kakarot and the others have grown to such a terrifying height, which is several times stronger than the oppression he felt when he saw Frieza. Vegeta had a thought that he couldn't believe. A Saiyan can actually grow to such a terrifying level. Could this guy Kakarot become a Super Saiyan? After killing Turles, Son Goku turned back again and looked at the spirit tree. Without any hesitation, he opened Kaioken and his hands were in the shape of calyx. Kame, Hai, Kaigong. A very strong blue ki blast suddenly blasted towards the spirit tree. The incomparably powerful ki blast instantly submerged the spirit tree. In the strong light, the spirit tree turned into an invisible light spot. As the energy dissipated, it turned into pure vitality and fell towards the earth again. The desertified land on the earth sprouted in an instant. In the blink of an eye, it became an oasis. The weak ordinary people also recovered. Chapter 105. The powerful Earthlings, Vegeta is paralyzed. After cleaning the spirit tree, Goku found Vegeta, who was dying. Piccolo was much stronger than him, but he was killed. I didn't expect him to be still alive. His vitality was really strong. So, Son Goku gave him a Senzu Bean, and Vegeta was soon healed again. Son Goku looked at Raditz. Brother, I'm going home to see Bulma, you take him to the training room. Raditz nodded. Oh, yes, Kakarot, if you didn't say it, I would have forgotten that my sister-in-law is just an ordinary person, leave it to me, you go quickly. Son Goku flew home quickly. Feeling the healing of the serious injury again, his body once again gained powerful fighting power. Vegeta was shaking with excitement. Ha 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 ha, ha 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 ha. I didn't expect that there was such a thing on Earth. I became stronger again. Vegeta shouted, and the breath of his whole body couldn't help but burst out. He released his fighting power crazily, as if he had never been so happy in his life. Especially after being beaten for so long, and being shocked by Kakarot's strength. The suffocating feeling in his heart was swept away at once. Vegeta looked at Raditz again. Hey, Raditz, do you still have a lot of Senzu beans? Raditz looked at Vegeta's current state and obviously understood what he was thinking. You don't want to use the Senzu beans to rely on our Saiyan's talent of getting stronger with each battle. Vegeta was stunned. Is there any problem? Raditz nodded seriously. Of course there is a problem. Resurrection from the near death can make you stronger. But that is just overdrawing your own potential. And you will soon reach a bottleneck. The most effective way to become stronger is actually efficient and reasonable training. Vegeta's expression froze for a moment. Since he said so, this method must have flaws. The idea just now was extinguished in an instant. Not long after, Soren, Yamcha and others hurried over. They found that the matter had been resolved and the spirit tree was gone, and everyone breathed a sigh of relief. If we had known that Goku could handle it alone, we wouldn't be so anxious. Yeah, look how tired I am. Krillin looked around and asked. Hey, where's Goku? Raditz said. After he came and killed turtles and cleared the spirit tree. He didn't even stay for 3 minutes and went home immediately. Krillin was stunned. So anxious. Yamcha laughed. Hey, Goku is really a man who values women over friends. I guess he's afraid that his wife will die if the spirit tree absorbs too much vitality. Ha 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 ha. Krillin's pupils shrank. Oh no, I have to go and see how Shino and Huahua are doing. Oh you. Krillin said, opening the 20x Kaioken and shooting back towards his house. Tien Shinhan, Yamcha and others were stunned. Chichi teased. Why aren't you laughing? Is it not funny anymore? Instead, it smells like dog food. Quote. Now, it was Tien Shinhan and Yamcha's turn to be embarrassed. They both scratched their heads awkwardly. Oh, what a pity, I didn't get to see the battle again, it's so itchy. Yamcha changed the subject. At this moment, an energy bomb suddenly shot at Yamcha. He was drowned by the violent explosion without paying attention. Vegeta's pupils shrank, and sweat broke out on his forehead again. Good news, there are still enemies. As soon as the voice fell, a huge universe ship flew over them. The hatch opened in the air, and 12 strange-looking warriors flew out of the spaceship. Seeing that there were aliens, Tien Shinhan, Chichi, and even Jiaozi moved their joints happily. It seemed that they were looking forward to this battle very much, which seemed to be a big fight for them. At this moment, the smoke and dust that hit Yamcha dissipated, and he was unharmed. Yamcha flew up first and said, damn it, they actually attacked me, how abominable. There are 12 in total, each of them hit 3, not even the face. Chichi. Totally agree. Jiaozi pointed to the 2 short bald men and said, those 2 are mine. Seeing that they actually treated the enemy as a dish. Vegeta was also very surprised. Advertisement. They are obviously Earthlings, but they actually look a bit like Saiyans and enjoy fighting. Vegeta also wanted to become stronger and go up to try his hand. However, after seeing them fight, he found that those minions were all stronger than him. He just upgraded twice. Vegeta couldn't help but wonder, the spirit tree was destroyed. How come their ability to eat the spirit tree fruit has not degenerated? Vegeta was about to go up, and was blown back by the aftermath of the battle. Damn it! Vegeta clenched his fists fiercely. He didn't expect that, because of the huge gap in strength, he couldn't fight these people at all. When a common man gets angry, blood splashes 5 steps away. He was a Saiyan prince, but he was only angry for a moment, which seemed no different from the anger of an ant. A nameless fire burned in his chest. Raditz saw this and quickly persuaded him. Okay, Vegeta. Now is not the time for you to take action. Wait until I show you the gravity room and the gravity bracelet, and you will understand what kind of hard life we lived in the past. Gravity room, calendar bracelet. Vegeta was surprised. He knew about the gravity room. He just didn't expect that this seemingly backward little Earth actually had such a thing. This planet still looks very backward on the surface, but is the actual level of technology so advanced? At this moment, countless flames of battle broke out in the sky. Vegeta looked up and saw that the Earthlings were beating up those guys who ate the fruit of the spirit tree like beating children. They actually beat them up and made them lose their minds. Vegeta's mentality exploded again. He was not angry that they were strong. He was just angry that they were stronger than him. Damn it, I am the prince of a fighting nation, but I am not as strong as these Earthlings. There is even no comparison. Although he didn't say anything. His expression was so sour. It seemed that every organ was showing that he, King Vegeta, was not convinced. Seeing Vegeta who doubted his life, Raditz felt sour. It was as if he saw the original him, who had never seen the world when he came to Earth. Raditz smiled and said, Hey, Vegeta, what do you think of seeing their fight? Vegeta's pupils flickered, and he asked very seriously. Raditz, tell me the truth, what are their strengths? What strength? Raditz thought for a moment and said, we tested it last year, and the highest one was Kakarot, who should have a combat power of 6 million. The one who just left without fighting is the bald Earthling, Krillin, and his ability is not bad. His combat power last year was 4.8 million. At the same time, Krillin is the strongest Earthling and a hero of the Earth. He and Goku have been training together since childhood. Then there is Kakarot's second wife, Chichi, whose combat power last year was about 4 million. That woman is, as he said, Raditz pointed at Chichi who was fighting in the sky. Quote. Quote. Before Raditz finished speaking, Vegeta interrupted Raditz. How much more? Raditz looked at Vegeta and responded. Yes, you heard it right, it starts at 1 million. Among them, except Jiaozi, who does not have a combat power of 1 million, everyone else has more than 1 million. Vegeta opened his mouth wide in shock, and an egg could almost be stuffed in. At this moment, Vegeta felt as if he was isolated from the world. 6 million. How can the combat power reach that level? How is this possible? My combat power is less than 20,000. Kakarot is obviously just a low-level warrior, but he has reached 6 million, more than double Frieza. His steps became weak, and he couldn't help but stagger. The next second, Vegeta looked at Raditz in horror and asked for confirmation again. It's really 6 million, are you right, or did I hear it wrong? In addition, someone found the figure of Mr. Klin, the world hero. She buried her face in Goku's arms, gently caressing. I know, you came back so panicked, are you worried about me leaving the group? Bulma felt his warm embrace and was particularly moved. He stretched out his arms and hugged Bulma in his arms. Son Goku didn't answer, nor was he shy, carefully enjoying Goku's tenderness at this moment. Vegeta had come to Earth just for fun, thinking that the Earthlings would give him a surprise, and that someone with strength close to his would appear. But after he arrived, he found that he, the Saiyan Prince, was a joke. He couldn't even beat the enemy's soldiers, but he still wanted to take the lead. It was really funny. To be frank, any one of these Earthlings could crush him to death with just one finger. Vegeta suddenly felt lucky. Fortunately, they had never invaded Earth. Fortunately, he asked Raditz to come here to invite Kakarot, and fortunately, Raditz was Kakarot's brother. Otherwise, neither he nor Nappa would have a good ending. Just when Vegeta was still digesting what he had just said, they had already finished their work. The 12 warriors on the Turtle spaceship were all beaten half to death without exception. Vegeta couldn't understand this scene. Stupid Earthlings, what fools. Being kind to the enemy is cruel to yourself. At this time, Tien Shinhan said, everyone did a good job, even Jiaozi controlled his power so well that he didn't kill anyone directly. Jiaozi smiled. Yamcha said, okay, everyone has had a good fight, so now they go. 0.0 Kidian nodded and said, okay, then you come, I can't do it. Yamcha said nothing, and an energy bomb submerged the 12 people, and instantly blasted them into dust in the universe, leaving nothing behind. Vegeta, who was just cursing the stupidity of the Earthlings, also froze in an instant. Well, fortunately, I just thought about it and didn't say it out, otherwise it would be embarrassing. Exodus, Capsule Company Cave. Bulma was also shocked to see Goku coming back in a panic. What's wrong, Goku? Why is your face so ugly? Seeing that Bulma was fine, Son Goku was relieved. Bulma, you didn't feel anything just now, did you? Raditz nodded in understanding. To be honest, when I came here a year ago. Hearing Raditz's introduction, Vegeta was numb. He sniffed the fragrance of her hair fiercely. Now, Kakarot should be a little stronger. After those branches came out, I felt weak all over. Why did the 80-year-old strong old lady suddenly become unable to take care of herself? Many doubts fell on people's minds. Son Goku hugged Bulma and said, when I was on King Kai's planet. Why did the 18-year-old girl? Bulma said, suddenly startled for a moment, and then her face was full of smiles. She looked at Son Goku tenderly and asked. Son Goku nodded. I suddenly felt panicked. I was worried about something happening, so I hurried back. That's all an illusion. Son Goku nodded. I hope so. There were many experts on TV who came out to study the branches and made various analyses. Good news came at this moment. This station forwards a great news. The giant tree in the sky disappeared, and the sun shines on the earth again. The land that was desertified by the strange tree has also returned to its original state. At the same time, the old, weak, women and children who were affected have also returned to normal. In addition, according to gossip, the source of this incident happened in Dongdu, and there was an alien invasion. Many enthusiastic citizens provided clues to this station, and they saw the spherical universe ship, and aliens walked out of it. Could it be that Mr. Klin saved the Earth again? Come to Earth, Vegeta, let's join forces to kill Frieza. Now it's fine, nothing's wrong. It took me a long time to recover. It seems that aliens look similar to us. Vegeta, don't be so surprised. Bulma said. Are you talking about those branches in the sky just now? If you want to know the follow-up content, please pay attention to the hero interview. Mountain. Why did the 2-year-old child cry non-stop? Yes, you heard it right, it's 6 million, and it's the data from a year ago. At present, the media and reporters have rushed to the home of the world hero Klin to help the citizens find out the truth. Vegeta suddenly remembered the invitation in the detector when he came. Chapter 106 Arrival on Namek. Raditz took back Vegeta's broken detector, and Bulma repaired it immediately. Although the detector of Frieza's army could not detect the secrets of the upper echelons of Frieza's army, it could hear some conversations of the soldiers. And some detected energy data and so on. Through the chats of the soldiers. The general movement of Frieza's army could be known. After a simple intelligence collection, Bulma found that Frieza's army was heading to Namek. In short, there was plenty of time. So, everyone arranged to leave in a few days. In a blink of an eye, a few days passed. King Vegeta had not shown up since he came. And had been soaking in the gravity room with Raditz. He benefited a lot from the gravity training in the past few days. Every day, he could see his combat power rising intuitively. He felt particularly happy. Today, he finally couldn't practice. Because today was the day to go to Namek and find Frieza to make trouble. In order to prevent the scum-like turtles from invading the Earth, Raditz stayed on the Earth again. In fact, except for Frieza, ordinary people are really not his opponents. Turtles was an accident last time. If the guys who invaded the Earth were as strong as Frieza, it would be useless for anyone to stay. Of course, the most important purpose of his staying was that he was afraid of death and didn't want to go. No one pointed it out. One more and one less would not make a difference. After simply preparing some supplies, everyone boarded the universe ship and headed straight for Namek. When the spaceship entered the universe, after the flight was stable, Ma left the cockpit. Okay, everyone, we expect to arrive at Namek in 7 days. There are showers on the spaceship, chefs, restaurants, and video game rooms. There is also a screening room with a stereo installed, as well as various entertainment facilities, etc. I believe you will have a good experience. These days, I think I won't practice anymore, just relax and have a few days. Quote. Everyone was surprised. Krillin said in surprise, "It's so cool, there's even a screening room, are there any good movies?" Bulma pulled Goku and said, "If Krillin likes watching movies, let's go and watch it together." Before coming, I downloaded dozens of new movies. Seeing Bulma pulling Son Goku, Krillin touched his bald head. He said helplessly, "I see you two go together, I suddenly don't want to go." Well, isn't there a video game room? Then you two go, I won't be a light bulb, I'll go to the video game room to play games. Yamcha. Oh, I want to play games too. Chichi looked at Bulma and Goku. And said, "You two go and watch first, do you want something to eat or drink? I'll ask the chef to make something and come to you later." Bulma. Then bring me a cup of coffee. Quote. Chichi. What about Goku? Son Goku thought for a moment. No, I'm not hungry, but dinner needs to be prepared in advance. I want to eat dumplings. Chichi nodded and said, "Okay, I want to eat dumplings too. Then I'll tell the chef to make dumplings tonight. By the way, how about leeks and eggs?" Okay. Just as they were chatting, Vegeta came over. He said with some dissatisfaction, "Hey, woman, what's the point of you getting so many leisure and entertainment things on the spacecraft? Isn't there a place to practice?" Yamcha, who hadn't left yet, was surprised. "No way, it's already this time, are you still practicing? Besides, will practicing for a few more days be useful?" Son Goku patted Yamcha, turned his head and looked at Vegeta. And said, "Since there are so many leisure areas, there must be a gravity practice room. If you don't want to relax, you can also practice. You have just practiced for a while, and your strength needs to be improved urgently. We have all been in a bottleneck for a long time, go by yourself." Vegeta breathed a sigh of relief. He didn't expect there was a training room on the spaceship, so he went to the training room without saying anything. Chichi looked at Vegeta's back, with a hint of displeasure on his face. "You always put on a bitter and vengeful face, and I don't know who you are showing it to." "I don't know, maybe the prince has troubles too. Hey, he just found that after coming to Earth, his strength was at the bottom, and he, who was once praised as a genius, felt uncomfortable. He just wanted to catch up quickly and surpass all of us." Quote. "Shish, don't tell the truth, he'll be angry if he hears it." Quote. Let's go play electric steel." Just like that, they relaxed along the way. Vegeta was practicing alone in the gravity room. And a few days passed in a flash. "We'll be arriving at Namek soon. Fasten your seat belts, the impact will be great when entering the atmosphere." Everyone found a place to sit down and fastened their seat belts. Bulma walked into the control room, and Son Goku went to the control room with her. Advertisement. While Bulma was controlling the spacecraft, she looked around at the environment of Namek. "Let me see where to land." Son Goku nodded and said, in addition to the landing place. "It's best to land near a Dragon Ball." "Hey, what you said makes sense, then you check the Thunder Sky." Yeah, Son Goku quickly turned on the Dragon Ball radar. After pressing a few times, he found the location of the nearest Dragon Ball. "Bulma, fly to the front left of the spaceship, about 3,000 kilometers away. There is a Dragon Ball there, so let's go there first." "Okay, then you should fasten your seat belt too." After a bumpy ride, the spaceship finally landed steadily on Namek. Bulma wiped the sweat from her forehead. Too much attention was paid to comfort. And the parameters of the spaceship were not properly adjusted. This landing was too abrupt. "Okay, let's all get off." As they spoke, Bulma and Goku opened the hatch and got off the spaceship. Others also got off Namek one after another. Seeing the green water and blue sky, the air was also particularly fresh. And everyone took a deep breath. Chichi. "Hey, it's amazing, we're here." Krillin looked around the environment and said, "This is my first interplanetary trip. Namek is so big, and the environment seems to be similar to that of the Earth." Tien Shinhan nodded. Yeah, it seems that there is no air pollution here, and it is more comfortable. Chichi looked around and said, this place seems to be a primitive society, right? There are no modern buildings or farmland at all. Vegeta snorted coldly. Country bumpkin. Chichi said angrily. Who are you calling a country bumpkin? I have never been to an alien planet, don't I know it is normal? Vegeta explained directly. Namek people don't need to eat, they just need to drink water and bask in the sun. Everyone was suddenly enlightened when they heard this. Krillin nodded. Ah, so that's it. That, I sense the breath, it doesn't seem to be too strong. Did Frieza not come at all? Son Goku nodded. I didn't sense his breath either, so he probably didn't come. Bulma said. The earlier you come, the better. Let's collect the Dragon Balls first and then quickly save Piccolo, right? Okay, then Goku, help put away the spaceship. There is a Dragon Ball not far ahead, which should be only a few kilometers away. Son Goku nodded. Leave it to me. You go first, I'll catch up soon. Soon, everyone came to a Namek village. A dozen Namekians looked at them curiously. They also looked at the Namekians curiously. Krillin whispered. These people look too much like Piccolo. I'm really sorry, why don't you wait for a while, I'll go to the elder to ask. Son Goku listened to the elders and felt that something was wrong. I wonder what the process is. So the Dragon Ball on our Earth lost its function and turned into stone. It sounds so troublesome. The elder of Namek frowned. Trying to collect 7 Dragon Balls to revive him. Quote. Who are you? Need strength and wisdom, and even if we are the warriors of Namek. We need to collect them as soon as possible, please. Hello, we are from Earth, my name is Bulma. I didn't expect that there are Namekians on other planets. It's amazing. The great elder of Namek can know the situation by moving the antenna, and can he communicate with each of them? Why ask for instructions? No. Son Goku immediately realized that he was trying to evade them. Bulma continued to ask. I wonder how long it will take for you to ask for instructions from the great elder. The man raised 3 fingers. 3 days. What? 3 days? The efficiency is so slow, we can't wait. Krillin was a little anxious. The elder of this village immediately said. This village is far away from the great elder's village. I only need more than 1 day to travel, and it must be 3 days to go back and forth. Please understand. At this time, Vegeta walked up and grabbed the village elder's collar very rudely. He threatened as soon as he opened his mouth. You be asterisk 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 D, hand over the Dragon Ball to me quickly, or I will kill everyone in your village. As soon as these words came out, the Chinese people immediately tightened their anus. The dozen or so Namek tribesmen behind were also shocked. The village elders understood immediately after hearing this. An elder walked up to the crowd and asked politely. Yes, we don't have so many troubles on Earth. The elder of Namek smiled. Son Goku nodded. Well, judging from their faces, most of them are very kind. However, a bad guy invaded our Earth and killed the god. If you can find and collect 7, you can make a wish. So, we came here specifically to find his home planet. But it's not as simple as you think. If we want to get Dragon Balls, we need to go through the levels of strength and wisdom. Bulma saw the manager coming out and immediately stepped forward to introduce herself. Dragon Ball. You actually know Dragon Ball. However, they all look very kind. Everyone frowned. We need to borrow the Dragon Ball from Namek. Bulma nodded again. Yes, may I ask, what are the conditions for collecting Dragon Balls? That's it. The village elder explained. I'm sorry, I can't give you Dragon Balls directly, I have to ask the elder. Who is a god, and he created Dragon Ball on Earth? Bulma smiled and said. To be honest, there is a Namekian on our Earth.